Welcome to Delete Everything with Patrick Wall. With me today, I have my good buddy.
Riley Bowen.
That's him. It's the
That's
guy.
just Riley Bowen, not a dot Riley Bowen. Riley Bowen.
Hey.
I said
Hey, I'm Riley Bowen.
Hey.
I'm Riley Bowen.
Hey, yo, what do you want from me? What the hell, Riley Bowen.
Make me a fucking sandwich.
Hey, come on.
We didn't really discuss how we were going to do the intro.
That's, the spontaneity is really the spice of the whole
It
thing.
is? Okay. Well, so basically the whole premise of the show is that we talk about stuff that, like, either people have forgotten or it's just, like, not ever talked about. It's just shit that, like, as a collective, we have just kind of omitted from our knowledge. And,
Anything from literature, pop culture stuff, people that you remember from your past
Yeah.
that, weird Nickelodeon programming.
Yeah.
Fucking, I like to think that...
Shampoo bottle cults.
Get shampoo.
Orange chicken cults.
I like to think of it kind of like if you ever watched daytime soap operas with your grandmother.
I didn't.
Well, I did. I would like to say that eventually we'll talk about those.
Grandma and grandpa had another TV in the 108-degree Florida room. And I would just go out there as a fucking sweatbox and watch Comedy Central or something,
My grandma was a very frail old lady named Carolyn McCormick, and she would watch her stories in the family room from roughly 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, that's
Yeah, I'd get off when I was in high school, I'd get off of school and like walk to her house, which is really close, and then I'd sit and watch the end of like General Hospital or some shit with her, or whatever that weird one was with the midget.
So as you can
he's a
see,
little person.
Riley's grandmother was not part of the collective conscious. Now we've talked about her, and she is.
See,
now
and here we
all know
are
about her.
already. And let me tell you, this family room, buddy, some of the best like fucking wooden slat board walls you ever saw.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like porcelain dolls. That was my grandmother. She had weird porcelain
tongue and
dolls
groove,
everywhere.
but instead of being like real wood, it was like kind of a dark walnut, sort of like a plastic facade wood. It was super 80s. It was great.
Oh my god.
Green shag carpet.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. Grandma was great.
Well, today, in addition to your grandmother, we're going to be talking about cryptids. Now,
In addition to your fucking... My grandmother was not.
I don't think that your grandmother was a cryptid. For those of you who don't know what the definition of a cryptid is like, a folklore monster.
It's technically considered an undiscovered animal.
Yeah, but let's be honest. We live in a time where everybody's got a camera in their pocket.
I'm serious. I had a huge...
If you can't provide a photo or video of Bigfoot, then don't tell me you saw Bigfoot.
There's a lot of stuff here, okay? Because cryptids are more than just I saw the fucking Mothman or whatever. Like a real cryptid, and there's a whole field,
or whatever.
There's a field of legitimate science attached to it called cryptozoology. Right? And it's worldwide. There are cryptids in every country.
Yeah,
almost
there are
every
kooks in every
city.
country.
Well, yeah, of course there are, but it's very, very improbable. And
I would
it's
say
very
I'm
probable
leaning
that
toward
every single
way, Jose.
place in the... No, okay, listen. There are cryptids that have been discovered.
Which ones?
Hold on a second. I can look this up, but it's not the kudu. There is it's the kudu. Okay, so there is an antelope, it's an antelope. But
Okay.
It's like a big ass antelope that's
Right.
like half striped like a
Is
zebra.
it the size of a minivan and comes in for your children at night to slurp them up in his snout?
Hear me out. Because until a certain, I want to say the 1930s. I don't fucking fact check me too hard here. We're just kind of riffing.
Yeah.
But until like the
Don't
30s,
add us.
because they got these really cool fucking twisty horns and they're half striped. And they have this fantastic natural camouflage for like tall grass. Until like the 30s, people thought that this was a fucking myth, like some sort of disappearing deer.
Sure.
Right? And that was the big myth. It was like that. And then eventually people really discovered them because they're super
with
elusive.
things like cameras.
And I had the
Because in 1930, you were like,
exactly.
There's like one guy for every 500 square miles with a camera.
I swear to God, I've seen one of these fucking
the
things.
thing he'd hold up with the smoke and it would,
There was, when I lived in New York, there was a kudu in the fucking the gorilla exhibit at the Bronx Zoo, and I distinctly
before they had been discovered.
No, this
This is a weird anteater.
2007.
I know, I'm fucking with you.
But like, I remember like looking into the enclosure and not seeing this fucking thing because it was like standing next to some stuff that looked like it, and then it moved, and I was like, oh shit! And I had heard about it, and I was like, it's a fucking kudu! Oh my god! You know, like that's these are real. In fact, there's we can talk about it.
Well,
a little
listen,
bit later.
we're not going to get into whether
there's
they're
some
real or
wrap
not.
up stuff I want to do.
I don't think that Bigfoot and Nessie. So these are, you know, for those of you who don't know what cryptids are, those are like examples. You know, the Mothman and Bigfoot and all this shit. So, but what a lot of people don't know is
Champy, the the lake monster of Lake Champlain.
I've been on Lake Champlain a few times and been told to look for Champion. I'm like, it's a foggy ass lake. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to see.
Big old fish guy.
Big old, it's
wormy
Lake
fish
Champlain's
monster.
version of the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
So like, but a lot of people don't know every single state has multiple cryptids. Every single country has multiple cryptids. Like when we first started talking about doing this, we were like, oh yeah, we'll cover like in an hour and a half podcast, 2 hour podcast, we'll cover like I don't know, like 5 states and maybe do like a random country.
Absolutely.
Right.
Awesome.
And like as I started putting together, I was like, oh God, this is gonna be like we can maybe do 3 states per episode if we and then if you guys like it, we can do a series, not every week, but like we'll every month or so we'll do like
in my opinion, I think that America has some of the coolest, weirdest cryptids, specifically because it's a newer, like one of the newer discovered.
There
places.
are like so the states that we've done, there are some really. Every state's got a Bigfoot, or it's got a different name, but it's a fucking Bigfoot.
But I feel like there's always on top of like your basic like settlers, they're like, oh shit, there's a giant frog monster out there.
Yeah,
you're also gonna have thousands,
which are the funny ones.
Yeah, there are thousands and thousands of years of native legends.
Yes,
you got your Wendigos.
There are
out
a lot of them that are based in native legends, but like. So we're gonna really gloss over like all the different states' Bigfoot iterations, and
not to say they don't exist over here.
And Nessie iterations and Wolfman iterations. We'll kind of gloss them pretty quickly. It's a fucking bear or something standing on its hind legs,
or I don't know, ape man,
a big hairy guy.
Could be an ape man.
It's Ted Nugent.
No, that's the Whack Master. It's a Michigan cryptid.
So the states that we've decided to do today are kind of, Florida, which is the state that Riley and I live in currently. But we also decided to do our home states. Me, originally from just outside of New Orleans, so we're going to do Louisiana. And Riley from, Detroit area, right?
Detroit area. Yeah, Metro Detroit area. Yeah. Royal Oak specifically.
So we're going to do...
that none of my fucking friends back home hear me be like, oh, I'm from Detroit. And they're like, oh, you're a fucking liar.
I just always say outside of New Orleans because nobody knows where the fuck
from the center
Homa.
of Detroit. It's so pretentious.
Who knows Homa, Louisiana?
So many suburbs.
And then people are like, Homo? And I'm like, no, you idiot. There's not a fucking town called Homo.
You're in a town called Homo.
somebody's gonna tweet and be like, I live in a town. I live in Homo, Oklahoma.
Speaking of which, there's one of our cryptids exists near a town called Gaylord in northern Michigan. That's
yeah,
fine.
I mean, but that sounds like some European shit that came from here. It's like somebody was descended from like Gaylord, Reginald Arbuckle from Westchester.
Detroit is French, a French settlement.
Yeah,
Detroit. Which means a narrow passage of water between 2 greater land masses. Modeled after the design of Paris.
I hate it. Yeah, Detroit, Paris, same place, basically.
I mean, circa 1830. Yeah, sure, why not?
So, all right. So we're going to start with Florida, where we both live.
Oh, boy.
And despite the fact that Florida is one of the more insane states in the country...
real fucking bonkers joint, let me tell you.
It's actually got some of the cryptids aren't as cool as the ones we found in Louisiana and Michigan. If I'm being honest,
the big one is the classic Florida man. That's
does exist.
If you think about the etymology behind building these legends behind characters that people like build up in their heads that they've never really seen. The Florida Man in the United States is a huge fucking gimme for cryptids.
Well, but yeah, Florida Man is just basically any crazy person exhibiting Florida behavior.
Any face it wants. Fucking
just swamp hillbilly behavior.
exactly, just legendary.
Do
look
something.
Out. You look out. The Florida man will get
Do
you.
something that makes you look like a swamp hillbilly, and there will be an article on some radio show or a newspaper or news story that calls you Florida man. And if that's what you're going for, then
Which
cool.
is fair. But I mean, like, I would like to actually exemplify that as a modern day example of like a cryptid legend. I'd make a case for it because I mean we've got some, human based cryptids on this list.
Yes,
and
several.
We have several human based cryptids, which isn't really within the technical realm of the cryptid, like cryptozoology, but
right.
I think it fits appropriately for like the way we're putting it in context.
Yeah, sure. But we're gonna jump in here because we have a ludicrous amount of cryptids over 3 states that we've got to cover. So for starters, the big one.
We have a L-O-U-P.
L-O-U. Wow. Okay.
Ludicrous?
That's going to come into play here in a moment.
Oh, yes,
you guys just wait.
Oh, yes, it will, sir.
Hang on to your seats. So obviously the big one in Florida is skunk ape, which, again, it's our swampy.
I mean, it's our Bigfoot.
It's a stinky Bigfoot.
It's your standard Sasquatch.
Skunk ape is a big stinky Bigfoot that lives in the swamps.
Something that should be addressed about everyone's Bigfoots is they've all got a little quirk. There's a personality. Like your Yeti.
The Florida one's just stinky.
The skunk ape is a stinky.
Yeti's just white. Skunk ape's like, make him live in the swamps, and he stinks
real
bad.
There's a lot of stuff. Like there's like Skunk Ape Museum in South Florida.
Oh my God.
They eat like the heart of palm. Like the center of palm trees. Just the good ones, not the vomitorium.
That's what they eat?
Yeah, they eat heart of palm and various grubs and whatnot. And if you're a dad like me, children that wander off.
Little asshole children.
If your idiot kid feels like it should wander the fuck off in the swamp, you go, hey, look out.
You don't live in Louisiana, so they don't have to watch out for sackabilly.
No, sackabilly's a whole nother deal. No, the skunk ape, though, it's not going to eat you, but it'll take you off to live with this.
But a way cooler one that we've got in Florida.
And you will stink like shit.
When we find you, you're going to smell
so fucking
hell.
bad. You got to chew on roots all goddamn day.
We've got in Florida Wampus cat, which is arguably just fucking awesome. Have you seen the Wampus cat?
Wampus cat so it's got 5 arms, 6 arms.
6 arms.
It can stand upright.
Can it?
It can run like on its back legs and be like "Arr," with its other 4 fucking arms.
So
it's like part dog, part like puma.
All the photos,
Panther?
I said photos. All the artwork I've seen was basically
extensive scientific documentation that I've seen.
All the artwork that I saw was it basically looked like a panther, like a Florida panther, like a cougar, right? With
not like the usual Florida cougar, but like
John Cougar.
It looks. They call it the Melon Camp.
So it looks like that, except for they just added 2 like T-Rex arms to the front. They're not T-Rex arms because they look functional. Well, they look functional, but he's standing like a normal.
Zuquato arms.
Yeah, he's standing like a normal, panther, but he's just got like 2 extra legs in the front. Which is arguably badass.
Full on panther arms, or are they kind of like
they're real arms.
Yeah, so you got like. It's got 2,
but they would just come from like I guess where like where like its pectoral muscles would be, or
are they front facing? I mean, like
they're front facing.
Like a cat's, it would be from the shoulders, right? So like, do you would have secondary shoulders around its like rib
It's not really from the shoulders. It's like from the front of the front legs. Like 2 more arms come out, or legs.
So it's got 2 front cougar arms. Coming out.
Yes. They all look functional. They've got
paws or fingers.
They look like they've got paws.
Like slashy claws, right?
Yeah. So arguably it could run up on you on the 4 legs and use the 2 front ones to just claw your ass up.
Well, that's pretty badass. It could gallop like a fucking like a cougar, I suppose, singing Jack and Diane at you.
Telling you about sucking on chili dogs?
Sucking on a chili dog.
Why?
/
Why did nobody tell him not to use that?
Particular. That's the best part of the song.
That's
sucking on a chili dog.
sucking on chili dogs. Gross.
I mean, has anyone ever asked you what you're doing when you're eating a chili dog? Because there's only one response.
Not sucking on it.
I'm sucking on a chili dog.
Yeah, do you see the photo that I see?
On what? What are you looking at?
I don't know, on a website. I've got a photo of it in front of me.
I was looking up John Cougar Mellencamp. Now I got a Wampus Beast here. Holy shit. Also known as the Wampus Beast, I want to point out.
It just looks like an elongated...
Yeah, it's got fucking dope. It looks like an Andalite from the Animorphs.
It looks badass.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yet it is. It's two sets of the front legs.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the reticulated back legs are back there. But part of the legend is it's supposed to be able to stand up on the back.
But back to your point, it was originally a it's a Cherokee folklore. There are a couple of the reason why they say that this thing exists in Cherokee folklore is one legend tells of a Cherokee woman named Running Deer who wanted to take down the evil spirit Ewa, known as the spirit of madness. And
Ewa from the Avatar movies.
No. Probably named for that.
Ewa has heard you.
I hate you. Why would you bring that?
Ewa calls forth to rock Macto.
I hate you so much. When's the last time you watched Avatar? Jesus.
I saw The Way of Water like a year ago.
Oh, wow.
Pretty fucking dope.
Was it?
Yeah. It's like when you don't like outer space adventures. It's fucking sweet.
I just, you know what it
they got
lost
fucking
me?
whales that talk.
You know what it lost me? I was like, this is a pretty cool movie, the first one. And then that fucking dumb-faced asshole said the word
Giovanni
unobtainium.
Ribisi? I knew it was Giovanni Ribisi. I fucking knew it. Before you even said anything, you said that dumb-faced asshole. I was like, Giovanni Ribisi?
Unobtainium. I'm like, oh my God, no.
Don't you understand that is James Cameron being like, yeah, I get it. This is stupid. Just watch. And much like Giovanni Ribisi says, get the blue monkeys to do something. That's the whole point of the movie. It's like, come on, you're going to watch the movie with the blue monkeys.
Oh, boy. Well, so anyway, she wanted to take down Ewa, which was an evil spirit, the evil spirit of madness.
I mean, I guess.
So she thought that the spirit was responsible for driving her husband to crazy, right? So she equipped something called a booger mask.
Hell yeah.
Which made me laugh hysterically when I'm going to be more of an adult now and not devolve into childish giggling.
I mean, ancient cultures would save their boogers and mold them.
See, now you're trying to drag me down. I'm trying to stay professional here.
What is a booger mask?
I thought I sent you a picture of it.
Oh, is that the big nose?
It's the big nose mask.
Big ceremonial. Yeah, that's cool.
So
kind of looks like a samurai mask, like the old school, like what are those called?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it.
Not like the shadow play masks, but like the when you were gonna go into battle.
Yeah. I know exactly. Yeah. So anyway, this thing is called a booger mask. I don't know who named it that, but anyway, so she wore a booger mask, and apparently had the spirit of a mountain cat with her. And she surprised...
What, just like within her, or she just had one hanging out?
She just had it. Somehow she got the spirit of a mountain cat.
Fucking Zero and
she surprised and defeated Ewa. And she became the tribe's spirit talker and home protector.
Leader of Pandora. I'm going to stop that bit. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. And some believe that her spirit resides in the Wampus cat, guarding the Cherokee lands against dark... Oh, boy. Yikes. She didn't guard it very well. Guarding the Cherokee land.
I mean, fair.
Do a very good job.
But I mean, it's not like we see a fucking Wampus cat every other day, huh?
Is that what happened? So white people took their lands and the Wampus cat failed and went off into
how good is a Wampus cat against 600 muskets? You know? Like fucking...
Jesus. So it was supposed to guard the Cherokee lands against dark forces hidden in the depths of Tanasi.
Tanasi?
I don't know what that is.
Well, I will say that this is, I think, almost exclusively amongst the cryptids we're going to discuss today, is the only hero cryptid. It's the only, this defends the lands.
But there is another legend.
The only is the one in Detroit that has a little bit of a native leaning.
There is another much funnier legend. And it was, the creature was once a woman who spied on a sacred ceremony by hiding beneath the pelt of a mountain lion. And a medicine man punished her by transforming her into the Wampus cat.
Ooh. That is less fun.
It's kind of funny.
It's funny, I suppose, but it's your basic, hey, don't sneak into ceremonies
Mischievous,
when you're
these
hiding under.
mischievous native women when they're mountain lion pelts.
You know, it's your classic don't sneak into sacred events wearing mountain lion pelts story. You know,
We've all heard them.
Classic.
We all grew up with those.
You know, it's like that's the native version of the Grimm's fairy tales. It's like pretty much every other story.
Oh God, those are dark.
Yeah,
those are stupid dark. So the next one we're going to talk about is a little weird because whenever I looked it up, it's weird. Okay, so this thing is called the Mahambra, right? And the Mahambra is
the Mahambra Palace in Spain.
It is I think that's the Alhambra.
Yes.
It's basically a gigantic crocodile, right? There's the legends say that it's like 40 feet plus in length, but it's effectively just a gigantic crocodile. But from everything I could see, it is originally from Africa. It's originally in the Nile from like the Democratic Republic of Congo area was where it was originally talked about coming from, right?
I'm going to stop referencing movies, but that's a lot like Lake Placid. Bill Pullman and Oliver Platt.
You know, here's the thing. Reference as many movies as you want. Just not the terrible ones.
Well, Lake Placid fucking rules, as a matter of fact.
You say that about all the movies.
What's her name? Betty White's in that one. She says, I hope the crocodile eats all your fucking friends. Awesome.
Riley likes every movie, or at least he's got some shining light that's like
that's
cool
great
about it.
Oliver Platt's big line in that movie is, "You've got such great, big, beautiful boobs." It's fucking hilarious. But what I wanted to say is that it does resemble that movie, but more importantly, it resembles an actual true story from the town that we're in right now. Do you ever go to the alligator farm? We're doing this podcast live in St. Augustine, Florida.
Oldest European settlement in the nation.
Oh, you did it right. It's good because the colloquialism, the one that's on the fucking tourist sign that points at the city on the interstate.
Oldest city.
Says oldest city, which is a very insulting thing if you think about the Puebla Indians.
It is, yeah. Technically the oldest permanently settled European colony of the
United States.
The United States.
And even that's up for debate, but that's the closest we got. So in St. Augustine, pretty cool little town, I think, there is a place called the Alligator Farm, and the Alligator Farm specializes in alligators. It's mostly a small zoo specializing in tropical animals and reptiles.
Reptiles mostly, yeah.
But they, previous to what they have now, Monstro the alligator, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, they had Gomek.
They had Gomek.
Which are both crocodiles.
Yeah, well, yeah. So Gomek is from fucking 1927 to 1997.
Yeah.
He's a fucking 80-year-old.
Yeah, he was like 24 feet long.
Massive fucking, what did it say? Like 24 feet long, yeah.
Was he 24? Did I get that right?
1,896 pounds. He was 17 feet 9 inches long. Okay. 17 feet 9 inches long, 860 kilograms, or almost 2,000 pounds. Big fuck. And you can look at pictures, and they've got like a big.
I remember going there when he was still alive.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was a kid, yeah.
And that was like one of the biggest goddamn animals you've ever seen in captivity.
It was a bit.
But
scary.
the story of Gomek is very similar. Like the one that they spin at the alligator farm is very similar. Like. I think it's Indonesia.
He's the Mahambra.
Where the fuck is he from? Captured in Papua New Guinea. That
so
was
not
like,
a Nile crocodile.
Not a Nile crocodile. In Papua New Guinea, Gomek was like fucking a legend, like a tribal legend, and a crocodile hunter heard about it, took some people out there. He ate like 2 of the people on the fucking trip. And then he got captured.
Gomek did, not the crocodile hunter.
Gomek ate 2 of the people that were coming.
That's fucking wild.
They freaked out. And this guy, like, literally captured this, like, Papua New Guinea crocodile god.
Jesus.
And transported him to St. Augustine. So, I mean, the legend of the...
17 feet and 40 feet are way different.
I know, but 17 feet is a big-ass fucking
17
thing.
feet. I saw that motherfucker.
That's a big one. That's bigger than my car. I'll tell you that.
No shit. And also, like, yeah, just not in length, like in girth, dude. That thing was like the size of, I don't even know, like the width of him was crazy. It was like one of those like old oak trees we have down here in the South that you like wrap your arms around. You're only a third of the way around it.
Yeah, that's a big motherfucker. So, and like when I hear about this cryptid, that's where my brain goes. Because there has been, like, giant monster fucking crocodile.
Well, so there's no real explanation as to how it ended up being a Congolese legend to a Florida cryptid.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the idea that it was transported like that, to me, it makes me feel like Gomek might actually be part of that, because I mean he was captured in fucking
New Guinea.
Yeah, it was captured in New Guinea, but he was brought to Florida in like 1975 or something.
I don't know. The first time I saw him was shortly after we moved here, so I was probably like 14 or so. And yeah, I think it was
1985.
Big old guy.
He was kept in. He was purchased and brought to the alligator farm in 1985. Before that, he was in Ocala, Florida for 5 years. So he was like 1980s when Gomek was brought to Florida. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, so yeah, Mahabharata, basically the theory is because Florida has, American alligators and American crocodiles, and the crocodiles can get pretty damn big. Compared to alligators, crocodiles get a lot bigger. That maybe some of the Mahabharata sightings are just maybe really big, aggressive crocodiles. And,
So
when you've got a crocodile in your face.
It's kind of your basic big fish story.
Yeah, right? When you got a 10-foot...
This motherfucker was 40 feet
a 12-foot crocodile is probably going to make you go, it's at least 30 feet. I
was just driving through the Everglades a few weeks ago, and I swear there was probably, a 6-foot alligator on the side of the road. I could easily say that thing was 10, 12 feet. Just looking at it, it's like, fuck, that doesn't look like 6, 7 feet. That looks like 12 feet.
Yeah. I mean, when it's in your face, you have a tendency to be like, oh my God, it's fucking huge.
That's what she said.
Jesus Christ.
Or he. I'm inclusive. It's not what I've heard, but...
So this is, so we've got one that is particularly freaking hilarious. Another Florida cryptid called Snolligoster.
Oh, Snolligoster can go fuck himself.
Snolligoster is hysterical. So Snolligoster
sucks. I'm on record as Snolligoster fucking sucks.
Is effectively an alligator with no legs, right? He's got no legs.
Fucking big spike.
Right? He's got a giant spike that comes out of his back where he will, after killing someone, just pop him up on the back, save him for later, just swim around with a dead guy on your back spike.
That's the whole thing. Like, how? How do you get...
How does he swim? It's interesting you should ask. He's got, instead of arms and legs, he's got a propeller on his tail.
Right there. Fuck Snolligoster.
He's got a propeller on the tip of his alligator tail.
But I will... Okay, thinking about it, I have seen snakes and other reptiles swim, moving their tail in like an undular kind of circular thing. So I guess like if you'd seen like a big ass snake.
Well, and also if you see, sometimes when you see alligators in the water, depending on the murkiness of the water, you don't always see their legs.
Yeah, so you could see an alligator kind of doing like a paddly motion.
Yeah, so some fucking hick on an airboat.
I want to tell you that motherfucker there, he had a fucking propeller on his shit. The motherfucker had no legs.
It was like an alligator, but
to me it looked like a big old ass alligator dragon snake to me.
It was an alligator, but he had hey, Jethro.
Did you see that motherfucker? He had a propeller tail.
He had a propeller on his tail. He didn't have no arms or legs.
Bit me on my fan boat.
He had a spike coming out of his back with a dead guy on it.
When really it was an alligator that was like upside down as his dick. There's a dead man on that spike, I tell you.
Oh my God.
I don't want to know how that came about. I fucking hate the Snolligoster.
This Snolligoster's fucking hilarious.
Dumb as shit.
It is stupid, but it's arguably hysterical.
I am enthusiastic
that there would be a cryptid with a fucking boat propeller on its tail.
I'm enthusiastic about the idea of cryptozoology like being a legitimate science, and I really am. Like I love it. There was a brief period when I thought I was going to be a biologist when I was younger.
So this one just throws all your shit.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. It's like it's like when the X-Men started including characters that had fucking machine parts on them. Like.
Didn't we talk about
Cable's got a metal arm.
Didn't we talk about doing? We did. We talked about doing an episode that was like the shittiest comic book characters.
Yeah.
We did talk about that.
My pitch was the Wizard, somebody who's had a blood transfusion from a mongoose.
What?
He's super fast. Fight snakes.
Stop.
See, that's like old school, like golden era, like 1920s.
Yeah, no, I was gonna try and keep it to like the ones, like the Marvels and the.
Well, here's
DCs
another one.
that are-
Cable. Cable fucking blows. Metal arm.
Jubilee.
Jubilee rules.
Shut up.
I just like Asian.
Is she Asian?
Yeah, Jubilee. I mean, classically.
Okay.
I mean, look at her style.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, let me tell you, when I saw her, I felt sparks.
Oh my god. That's
Oh,
so stupid.
The X stands for. Okay.
What does the X stand for?
It actually stands for extra. Like give it extra power,
Extra men?
ability, extra thing,
Extra men?
extra men.
Is that what the X-Men were? Extra men?
It's just they had extra shit.
Other than
Like a
Professor
person.
X.
I mean, like, listen.
Kind of didn't have
In the
much
60s,
extra,
what are you talking? You can control
extra
people with his
brain
mind.
power, but then,
You could sense any mutant.
but at the expense of his legs, really? Come on.
No, that was a whole different deal. It's a whole different thing.
It was polio?
You still floated around in that fucking cool gold chair.
Was that him making that happen?
I mean, variations differ, but I like to say yes.
All right. Well, we do have an honorable mention Florida cryptid.
Oh, are we going for the muck monster?
The muck monster.
Fucking muck monster.
So the muck monster of Lake Worth, Florida, only
Lake Worth's a nice town, actually. I like Lake Worth.
it only has 2 guys that I can find that said, "Oh yeah, we found this muck monster in the lake. We were on a boat, and it fucking we thought it was a log." So the story was they thought it was a log. They got close to it on their
I
boat.
thought it was a log, and then it turned out to be a log.
They thought it was a log. They got close to it on the boat, and every time they got close to it, it went underwater, and then it would pop up, further away from them.
Crazy.
And then they would go toward it, and then it would go underwater, and then pop up.
Some sort of a log
Right,
creature
which if you live
that
here in
would,
Florida,
go underwater.
there's a thing called a manatee, also known as a sea cow, and a lot of people who know about this manatee creature know that it's a rather sluggish, doesn't swim too fast, and it goes in all the waterways, saltwater, freshwater, brackish, doesn't matter.
Anyway,
It likes it all, right? It's
drinks fresh water.
Yeah, it's a mammal. So, and what happens?
Lovely animals.
And what happens when you get close? So their backs kind of look like logs. And what happens when you get close to them?
They're just
is
bipping and bobbing around.
They go underwater, and
They're
then
like,
they
"Oh,
go,
shit."
and then they go like 30 yards away, and then they come back up because they're like, "Oh, that was close," and it wasn't. But to them, it is.
This guy's like, I'm telling you, it was the dang old muck monster.
And then if you continue doing that, they'll keep going underwater and getting away from you. And then eventually they'll be like, fuck, these guys are assholes. And they'll leave. and so also additionally, I mean, for, maybe another explanation, we also have these things here in Florida called sea turtles, which, when they come up to the surface, their backs look kind of like logs. And if you get real close to them,
I don't know about that.
they go
I don't know
underwater.
if like the back of a sea turtle looks like.
If you're a drunk fucking hick on a boat,
it
they
looks
sure
like
as
a
shit do.
floating kind of shield thing. I don't know. Fucking no. Like
With barnacles and algae and
okay, I can
all
see
over.
that.
Yeah,
Once, they're built up like the ancient ones.
the ancient ones.
But actually, okay. So seeing as we're in St. Augustine, I wanted to do a surprise honorable mention.
Okay.
That I think you may have actually heard me talk about before. In St. Augustine, Florida, in the Historical Society, we have a small segment of a documented sea monster. It's called the St. Augustine Sea Monster.
Oh, Jesus
Listen.
Where?
This is what the fuck are you talking about? Google it.
No, I'm saying where did it
The
appear?
Historical Society?
Where did it appear
On
in
St.
this
Augustine
town?
Beach, near the pier.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
It's one of what's known as a globster. It's a recorded, deep sea creature that washes up on a beach and reaches a level of putrescence before it's even
Right.
on land.
Yeah.
So it was unidentified for a long, long time. I think the idea previously was that it was a whale carcass.
You did talk about this now.
But whale carcasses are pretty well documented, so now the structure, the belief idea is that...
Globster.
Yeah, I mean, these are real. These are real fucking things.
It's a cool band name.
That's a cool fucking band name, actually. I like that.
Hey,
Globster.
we're fucking
We're
Globster.
Globster. Get ready to get your dicks blown up. Da-da-ba-da-ba-da. But it's really funny because
I spent
Globster's...
so much money at the Globster show. I bought like 2 vinyls, a T-shirt, a fucking
And
poster.
a chunk of a fucking squid. But yeah, so the St. Augustine sea monster, over years and years of testing, has proven to be probably something like a giant squid that's washed up. But it was so far away from a migratory route that it floated in the water for a long time. Nothing really ate it for some
that's
reason.
cool, I
And it
guess.
ended up... It's fucking cool. There's pictures of it. There are pictures of like tweed 20s dickheads with little fucking
I
pork pie
want to
hats.
say that you sent me a photo of it when you were when we first started talking about doing a cryptid episode. You were talking about this, and I want to say that you sent me. Yeah, I'm schlicking.
Yeah, we can hear that. I opened my beers off.
Did you?
Off mic.
Yeah, well.
But then just like give it a look, because if you look on Wikipedia, the Wikipedia article for
Wikipedia.
The Wikipedia article for the St. Augustine sea monster is 1920. It was when it washed up. Has a picture of like some tweedy fuck with like a cane and a little bow tie and a pork pie hat.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, I have discovered.
Like the mayor from Jaws.
Exactly. I have discovered here on this land.
Keeping the beach open.
A new creature from the bottoms of the depths of the sea.
When did this happen?
1920.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he would talk like
so
that.
It's a fucking cool picture. But there's still samples of it at his historical society, and my mom works in museums, so she's actually had the chance to handle them. I tried to bribe my way into the historical society because I'm a fucking little history nerd and I love crypto shit, and not the coins.
You're a crypto bro.
I'm a crypto bro. The zoology.
Total crypto.
But I
bro.
fucking desperately wanted to get my hands just for a second to hold it, and they wouldn't fucking accept my bribe.
Oh, that's sad.
They might now. I was kind of broke back then. I could probably offer like, $100. Like, give me $100. I'll give you $100. Let me in there and fucking hold this.
I'll give you $100 American dollars.
Okay, but anyway, that's my honorable mention. Globsters are real. They're all over the world. You can check those out, and I think that roots in well to the idea of like where cryptid shit really actually fits. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, so
just decomposed animals. You can't.
So yes, but the thing is, then someone realized, oh, this isn't a sea monster. It's
now with modern science,
right,
for sure. But like when we're looking at 1920, it was probably 80 to 90 years before somebody did the right like spectrographic shit to figure out like the cellular structure of this goop is close enough to this animal. You know, now it's a little easier to disprove this stuff, but back in the day, having these legends float around for so long, you know what I'm saying?
I got you. Well, that is Florida cryptids, which, like I said, are kind of like out of the 3 states that we picked, Florida, Louisiana, Michigan,
kind of the boring ones.
I was kind of disappointed, And originally, when we had the 5 states, we had New York was on that, and New York had some real boring ones too.
It's mostly
kind of lame.
New York's really beautiful and kind of nice. People aren't that bummed out to live in like upstate New York.
No, it's beautiful. I mean,
you gotta live
sucks in the winter.
Creep-ass places to get cryptids kicking.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, the Northwest has a lot. I mean, you could live in like Oregon or Washington, and they've got cool ones because like the whole Pacific Northwest has rad.
I feel like the creepier, the mistier, the more dangerous the climate. Except for Florida, really should have better ones. But we're fucking covered in poisonous snakes and fucking alligators.
Basically,
anyway.
Everything.
Like you see a fucking dinosaur every goddamn day.
So Allison calls me today. Allison is my girlfriend. Allison calls me today, and she goes, "So you know how we've been getting all the like the oak tree leaves and the pollen and all that crap, which if you live in this area of Northeast Florida, is just fucking brutal right now. The amount of pollen.
Going around like March. Going into March, April, the early spring tropical climate.
Oh my god, dude, it's bad.
Trees are just coming.
We have a ton. Yeah, we're just inundated with tree jizz.
When the wind blows, instead of your usual like, you're like,
gross. Well, so we have a ton of like old oak trees down here, and this time of year is just leaves and pollen, and it's just terrible. Well, anyway, she calls me today to go, did you know about these caterpillars? And I was like, you're going to have to be more specific about that. And she goes,
I'm aware of caterpillars.
I do know that's, I like butterflies, and I've heard that that's where they come from. So
Forrest Gump ass answers.
I like butterflies. But so I was like,
takes a caterpillar to make one of them.
Most caterpillars turn into moss and not butterflies, and that's why I like moss too. But so she was like, apparently the oak trees that are currently dumping everything evil onto us also have caterpillars that, I don't know, grow on those or like nest in them or whatever.
Just germinate.
Well, no, I mean, that's probably where they hatch. I don't know. Caterpillars, they hatch out of eggs. So, yeah. So they probably hatch in the oak trees and then grow to caterpillar size, and then, so they're anyway.
I know exactly dick about caterpillars, apparently. I thought I knew everything about everything.
You thought that caterpillars were live birthed from butterflies?
I'm working off of some old sci-fi concept from like a fucking Ender's Game novel.
Where did you think caterpillars came from?
Fucking, listen, I know that they're from eggs.
Okay, you just never thought about it.
I've been to like entomology departments and shit. Like, I was in Gainesville. I've seen the fucking at the University Museum, and I've seen them like fucking doing like moth breeding and shit. Like, I get it. But in my head, I just fucking went directly to a fictional book.
It sounded weird
where
to say
caterpillars just are made from trees.
Well, so apparently
Speaking for the dead, Orson Scott Card.
They're falling down with these leaves and stuff, and they have they're the ones that'll like irritate your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you touch them, they've got like the sort of poison glands or whatever.
Yeah, little spiky boys.
Yeah. So she's like, so now in addition to the pollen and all this shit, there are caterpillars raining from the sky that want to poison you. And I was like, they're only poisonous, quote unquote, if you interact with them. And she's like, I don't care. I don't.
Otherwise, they're venomous. Like, thank you.
Yeah, I was like, well, no, venomous is they gotta bite you.
Yeah, no.
Venom. Okay. If they were biting you and poisoning you. But I was like, honey, we live in Florida. Everything wants to kill us.
It just is what it is.
Some Europeans thought that it would be great to colonize the swamps. And we're like, well, you know what? Alligators and
that couch on my porch that you passed coming in here? Mm-hmm. Full of black widows, dude. Like, black widows all over the place.
They've got them all over the place.
See them all over the goddamn place.
A ton of them.
I sit on that
and
thing,
if you don't
so I don't
see
fucking
them,
care.
you see the little egg sacs.
Yeah, I just hang with it. Whatever. Fuck it.
Water moccasins, alligators, crocodiles.
What was that time we were out of the springs one time and fucking there's a water moccasin just like chilling out there.
No, it was a rattlesnake.
Or yeah, we were like, hey, look at that fucking, everybody look at that fucking thing. And some asshole's like, no, that's just that's a good guy snake.
And there were like people that were like getting up close to it to take pictures. Yeah, remember that?
You're like, hey, get the fuck, like, what are you doing? Get away from that.
Yeah, and I was like, that thing can bite you from there. They're like 3 feet away from it. It's
country
like
dickhead was like, that snake's safe. I was like, what are you fucking talking about?
Very clearly a rattlesnake.
Like, how many swamps have you lived in that you think that this big fuck here is totally safe?
I grew up in the Louisiana swamps.
Like
and
a
I moved
child
to the
and their grandmother, like taking a picture with their phone.
Yeah, that's what it was like. It was like some Latin family, like with their kids, and they're like.
On that same trip, I want to point out that's the trip where my daughter's there, and I believe your son was there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're all floating with like a big group of people down this river. Florida has these beautiful natural springs that everyone should check out. And fucking
it's a little
Pat points at me. I'm swimming and he's floating in the raft. He goes, Riley, alligator. And I turn and there's a fucking big ass alligator coming towards, like a big fuck, like 4, 5, 6 feet.
Yeah.
And it's swimming at me, obviously, pretty aggressively. And I'm like, oh fuck, and I like lose my mind trying to get into the fucking raft. Like, oh Jesus God, no, God, no, God, no. And it turns out some shithead children with a fucking remote control alligator
head
scaring the fuck out of people. It wasn't even the head; it was the whole thing.
I thought it was just the head.
The whole fucking thing. You see the tail?
I know. I remember that, and I remember the look of fucking fear in your face as you scrambled to get up onto the fucking.
I consider
I'm like trying to grab.
I consider myself a pretty fucking brave guy in most situations. Yeah, but that one's like I'm swimming.
Yeah, that's one of those. There's no winning that one.
A deep sea creature headed towards me.
With the size of the head on it, it was like.
It's like there's no
Riley's
contest
gone.
here. Might have been able to take an eyeball like Chubbs and Happy Gilmore. That's about as good as it would have gotten.
Jesus Christ.
But hey, alligators, good segue. Louisiana?
Yeah, Louisiana.
My personal favorite state that I've spent very little time in.
Yeah?
I mean, I've been to New Orleans twice. I passed through on the bottom half of Louisiana twice.
Okay.
Going to Texas back and forth. There's 3 times now. But I've never, like, delved deep into the culture. I've gotten enough of the aesthetic. I've seen some...
The culture's all over the place. Yeah. So Louisiana, specifically southern Louisiana, is like its own planet.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see, and also kind of heartbreaking, and like there's a lot of like poor culture, and like when I say poor culture, I mean like it's like these people have always been poor and will always be. There's nothing fucking.
There's a lot of.
There's no railroad coming through to fucking like save this town. No. They're gonna be eating fucking gumbo.
Yeah, and no, I mean even the people who I mean I guess you would consider or have considered at some point middle class, the people who work. Specifically a lot of people work in the oil field on the rigs out in the Gulf. a lot of those people that work in the oil field don't, like whenever as gas prices fluctuate, those oil companies have massive layoffs. Massive.
Yeah.
Like I have a cousin who still lives down there, and he wasn't even working on the rigs. He was working in a machine shop that would, machine parts for that would go out, onto the oil rigs. And like I think I don't know all the economics behind it, so don't fucking come at me with this. But I think when the prices, like when OPEC gas gets particularly cheap, then it's not as cost efficient to be running the rigs out in the Gulf, because we're getting it so cheap from, the Saudis that they just have huge layoffs. And so my cousin was unemployed for I want to say a year and a half.
And by that same token, the Gulf oil fields have notoriously had enough accidents that a lot of these coastal communities and stuff, in the Gulf in Louisiana have relied on fishing, and
it's still big money. Let me tell you, when growing up, so my uncle, my cousin's dad, and my father growing up both worked out on the oil rigs.
No, I'm just saying that there are enough.
And I remember dealing with dad's laid off shit.
Well, there are enough, notoriously so. The Gulf oil rigs have had a lot of accidents over the past 20, 30 years.
Oh yeah,
and a huge portion of the income or even the food source for most of the the coastal communities and the rural areas in Louisiana is fishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fishing or mud grubbing.
Shrimp.
Yeah, shrimp, crawfish.
Gulf shrimp. It's huge.
Shit like that. It's huge, and so much of the industry has been damaged again and again by fucking oil spills. And
well, yeah, that's that whole BP spill was fucking devastating.
Yeah, and the Zero Dark 30. Yeah. That's not Zero. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Deepwater Horizon.
Deepwater Horizon was the name of the rig.
What's Event Horizon?
The Event Horizon
Event
is
Horizon. Oh,
that moment.
The classic Louisiana.
That moment before you go into a black hole, before the
save yourself from hell, Chef.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. As a Louisiana native,
for those in the know, that was a hilarious joke I just made.
For those of you who have heard in the last 30 minutes that I'm a Louisiana native, you're gonna hear me probably go into some fucking real coon ass shit.
A what now?
Jesus Christ! All right, I'm sorry. Coon ass is not.
It's like CUNAIS.
No, it's COONASS.
What now?
Coon ass is what somebody from Southern Louisiana is called. It's not a racial thing. It's not referring specifically. It's referring to anybody who's from that region of Louisiana.
Right.
So I, being born in Louisiana, about 45 minutes outside of New Orleans, I am a coon ass.
Okay, so what kind of cuisine would you eat out there?
Jambalaya, gumbo, crawfish.
Would that be considered coon ass cuisine?
Etouffee. I mean, that's just Creole. That's just Cajun. I'm from Cajun country.
So you're eating,
but they call us coon
ass out in Homo County.
See, now that's racist.
Well, no. I was saying raccoon.
Coon ass.
Raccoon. Gee, okay. Now you taking it too far.
You said it. Look how mad you look. Yeah, I wish I could take a picture of Bradley's face right now.
Delete all of this.
Delete everything.
Delete everything. And this is the core of the show. Delete everything.
Yeah, so it's not only the things that we've deleted as a society collectively. It's also because there's
we have to delete every
so many things that we have to edit out. So many things. But no, so yeah, you can look up kunas. You can look it up right now. Kunas is a term for.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, what is a kunas? And it's gonna tell you, and you're gonna be like, you're right.
One word. COONAS.
One word.
Term for a person of Cajun ethnicity. Cool.
Boom. I'm not from
Some
Cajun
view it as
ethnicity,
derogatory. However, many Cajun embrace the name. And since
I'm not actually Cajun though.
Well, but being from Louisiana and a person of color, I suppose I get to mock you lightly, but not very much.
I am Latino. Just FYI, I don't know what people were saying.
I would say okay. So here in the Acadian genealogy blog. It does say that kunas is a controversial term in the Cajun lexicon, but to look at some of the actual usage in culture, a lot of people have stickers or things like that they put on the back of their truck called registered kunas, and they would generally depict a raccoon's backside.
Yeah, that's what I can literally see it right now. Do they have a picture?
But
It's literally the backside of a coon ass or a raccoon with the tail up, and you're just staring directly into its asshole.
Google it, hit image, and it's just a lot of raccoon assholes.
Yeah, you're just looking directly into its asshole.
I don't know if that's better.
Yeah, I grew up with those stickers all over the place.
Registered raccoon's asshole.
Well, I think because there is the racial epithet.
I think it's because
where
you gotta eat the whole thing.
People.
You just throw away the asshole portion. You are what you eat.
I mean, I've never eaten a raccoon, so maybe. I don't know.
I haven't either, but I wouldn't be against it.
I feel like they'd be greasy, like gamey.
Maybe I couldn't tell you.
A goose has
I think one from the
gamey.
woods would be preferable.
Or duck.
I wouldn't want to eat.
Duck is very greasy gamey.
Yeah, kind of gaming.
Yeah, and
I feel like a raccoon though. Like I wouldn't want to eat like a street raccoon because they're just gonna get whatever garbage.
What do you want? You want to just start popping up raccoon farms around the country?
You go to like the heart of Iowa or some shit into the they don't have many woods, grasslands.
You want raccoons. Like a wild raccoon? Wild raccoon that doesn't have like it's not like
just eating garbage all
like
the time.
downtown Jacksonville.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't want a dumpster raccoon. I would like a nice free range raccoon, especially if I'm gonna eat its asshole.
Okay.
And I bet you it'd be delicious. Probably tasty.
Probably a little tough. I want to chew on that thing a little bit.
They're not carnivores, really. I mean, they're carnivores.
They're omnivores.
Still omnivores, yeah.
They're omnivores.
Yeah. I've only ever eaten one kind of omnivore, which I suppose is a pig.
Oh, yeah.
And it's supposed
I've eaten
to
some
taste
weird
like
shit.
people, so I don't know.
I've eaten some weird shit, but that's a different episode. It might be a whole different podcast. I don't think this things that Patrick has eaten is anything that's going to be able to be covered on this one. So, fucking hell. Let's get.
I am going to buy you this sticker, however, that says "Beware, I am one crazy coon ass."
Okay, whatever. I don't know that I'm that crazy. Maybe at one point in my life, but I'm too old now. But anyway, let's get into some Louisiana cryptids, huh?
I mean, I want to keep saying coon ass.
Keep saying it.
But
well,
yes,
what I was going to say is you're going to hear me go into a lot of like coon-assian fucking. I'm going to get real coon ass on this.
Can we get a little sample?
No, not yet.
Okay, all right. You're saving the best for last. I like it.
Soon enough.
I'm into it.
So, first Louisiana cryptid that this is kind of brief because it's like a European one that I think made its way out over here, but it's Cauchamar. Cauchamar. I'll also be able to pull out my high school French.
I speak French.
Do you?
Yeah, Detroit's a French town.
I do a little bit. I took 4 years.
I took a lot of French in school, but I didn't learn fucking anything.
I learned
like comme ci comme ça and
that was on a test. How do you laugh in French?
It's silly. You know how most people.
No, I was saying that was on a test.
How
in French class.
I assume you laugh in French. It's like. That sounds more Cajun than anything.
That all sounds like the way no one ever has
like
laughed.
Like a Chef Paul Prudhomme, probably. Probably. I guarantee.
I guarantee. So, Cauchamar is the French name for a creature that appears. It's a European story. It's Germany and Greece and England all have like a version, and somehow it jumped to Louisiana, which is weird because there's not really, this article at least doesn't say anything about it being in France, but it's just kind of an asshole. It says this demon violates something very precious to us.
Whoa.
A good night's sleep.
Oh, I thought it would have been our assholes. This demon violates something very precious to us.
Anal virginity.
Jesus Christ.
It jumps on the chest of sleeping humans, inflicting pain and crushing the life out of them. The sleeper wakes suddenly, feeling heavy pressure against his chest and unable to move. The effects of a Cauchamar are especially noticeable, or easily noticeable. Exhaustion and agitation combined with the refusal to go to sleep at night.
Fucking numb left arm, the smell of toast. So you wake up and your chest hurts?
Yeah, right.
Jesus. The Cauchamar's at it again.
Sir, Boudreaux, you've had a heart attack.
A massive heart attack.
Mr. Boudreaux, you've had it was that Cauchamar was on my chest last night. I tell you what, it was on my chest. I could feel it. That goddamn Kashima.
Oh my god. It was on that I feel it. They come on out the bayou.
Listen, I went to sleep, I feel fine. Then all of a sudden I got that Kashima on my chest.
And then like Boudreaux like fucking dies. He had a goddamn heart attack and refuses treatment because he thinks it's a Kashima. I need to talk to this swamp woman.
Because he used one of the various wards against the demons.
I gotta talk to
such as
I gotta talk to Mama Voodoo. Get that Kashima.
Because instead of getting medical treatment, he went with placing iron nails in the mattress and putting shoes at the sides of the bed with the toes pointing out.
Gotta talk to Mama Voodoo. Tell you what to do.
I put my boots on the edge of the bed.
I put the lime in the coconut.
I put my boots on the edge of the bed. The toes was pointing out.
That's just feng shui. I reorganized my whole room. I put bricks under the bed. The energy flow real good from the window.
The flow feels so great. That flow feel great.
But then like later, Boudreaux dies. And people are like, what happened to Boudreaux? Oh, yeah, that old Kashima. Kashima got him.
Kashima got him.
We're gonna have a gumbo party in his honor.
So that is the Kashimar. That's just a
That's a
butthole.
good one. I like the demon that wakes you up with chest pains.
That's how
Wake up,
old
you're like,
school
oh,
Cajuns
fuck.
discovered they're having a fucking heart
Fucking
attack.
chest hurts. Goddamn Kashimar.
Oh my god.
Goddamn Kashimar got my fucking chest.
So we also have Letiche, right? Letiche.
Sounds like a fucking suave sword fighter.
So it's a Cajun folklore, right? And it apparently haunts the bayous. And
Every one of these fucking things is haunting the bayou. What else you got
Louisiana,
going on?
no shit, right? Yeah. So it's described a couple ways. One of them, which I thought was fucking epic, was the soul of an illegitimate, unbaptized infant. Illegitimate.
So it's got to be like a bastard child.
A bastard child that didn't get baptized.
And then died as a baby.
I guess so. Or a human child raised by alligators. So.
Oh, Gator Boys.
That's what I thought. I thought it would be like an alligator human, right?
That was surprised that in the research for Florida cryptids, Gator Boys didn't come up more because I've heard about them as kind of I think Central American kind of like tropish deal. So much like your feral children in the United States or wolf boys in general.
Right.
Dogmen, have you. The Gator Boys are very fucking common stories throughout like forever.
Just the children raised by alligators, like they
really,
wouldn't fucking eat them.
just children raised by animals. Look at Kipling, stories older than that. The Bible's got a couple of them shits.
Tarzan.
Like fucking Tarzan, fucking Edgar Rice Burroughs, Tarzan of the Apes, one of my all-time favorite books. Yeah.
So I envisioned, and some of the first piece of artwork that I saw was like a bipedal alligator guy. Mm-hmm. In which, hilariously enough, with
the soul of an unbaptized baby,
an illegitimate baptism. I don't know who my parents are.
Snap.
So, but
I'm an alligator bastard.
The first drawing that I saw, I'm pretty sure he was wearing cut off jorts.
Oh Jesus!
Just an alligator guy standing on two legs with cut off jorts and like a vest or some shit like that. But then I looked and it was like, so Letiche is another word for the Honey Island swamp monster. Maybe? I don't fucking know. It was super, super weird and kind of all over the place. So looking up a lot of this shit because...
Then when we look for the Honey Island swamp monster, we discover it's a fucking Bigfoot.
It's a Sasquatch. It's another
goddamn
but
Bigfoot.
it's like a alligator. Like he's got scales, but he's also hairy.
An ape man.
And he's also an ape guy. So he's like a Bigfoot had sex with an alligator.
When I think of stories like that, I'm not gonna...
I was out in that woods, I saw a Bigfoot having sex with a gator. I swear to God.
Listen, this is all fun, but I do like to bring some sort of a scientific leaning here, right? Okay, so I like the idea
You don't know what genus or species Bigfoot belongs to.
Stay away from my genus.
I'll come for something that's very precious to you.
No, my genus. Mama! Mama!
You gonna come for my genus now?
Now Kushima come in the window, smell my gumbo. He come for my genus. But like, okay, so there's so many stories of like animal imposters throughout like all sort of history. Even here in St. Augustine, right? Like there's the kind of the legendary story of Ponce de Leon landing on the shore here and meeting the leader of the Timucua natives who wore like a Florida panther pelt.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you had a lot of like people who explored places like Papua New Guinea or Tasmania, shit like that. That be like, oh, we've got tribes of lizard people living out here, but they're really wearing the shells of like turtles or alligator skins, things like that.
Right.
That sort of a thing. It would make sense that there may have been some tribal connection to human beings wearing alligator skins as armor.
Yeah.
Especially in a swamp-like area. It's a wildly varied native history in the United States. It's a fucking giant country. So,
yeah.
And Louisiana is so hard to get through. Like natives living in
Jesus
Louisiana
Christ, before they had roads and shit.
Insane. So it's a whole own fucking country.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things like getting through Florida was impossible, but Louisiana is even particularly nightmarish.
Southern Louisiana is just all either underwater or real fucking soupy.
So there's a lot of documentation of Florida native tribes throughout history using varying seashells and things like that as armor and weapons. Mm-hmm. It would make a whole lot of fucking sense that there would be some tribe or some cultural anything, or even like a little offshoot or fucking weirdo settlers even that made their home out there being as hard as
like
fucking
one
nails.
Small tribe is all it takes.
And they fucking dress
one dude
they
that
dress
got
up in
spotted from
skins,
one small tribe is literally all it takes.
Because like you could, before colonization and roads, you could have a tribe of 40 people living out in fucking was it what island? Whatever whatever monster.
Gullah Gullah Island.
Yeah, Gullah
Honey
Island.
Honey Island
dressed
Swamp.
up like giant yellow frogs.
Honey Island Swamp Monster.
That was a fucking throwback. Delete that one.
Honey Island, yeah, it was.
My cousin has Down syndrome, and when I was a kid with him, we went to the Gullah Gullah Island fucking live presentation tour.
Interesting.
I was like 14. I think he was like 13, but acted a little more like 9.
Like a Down syndrome.
And boy, oh boy, the live presentation of Gullah Gullah Island was one of the trippiest fucking things I'd ever seen in my whole life. But no, the Honey Island, the people on Honey Island, probably pretty fucking isolated back in the day. And it would make sense that if anyone lived out there, they would have used alligator materials.
The first sighting was in 1963.
Because alligator leather has always proven to be incredibly durable, usable, malleable.
Absolutely. So what's funny, though, is that this Honey Island swamp monster also accompanied by a putrid odor. So skunk ape's brother, I guess.
Fucking look at this skunk ape. Might just be some stinky fuck anyway. You ever been around somebody who hasn't bathed for a week? It stinks.
I have.
And you're talking to a stinky kid in school, so it wasn't my fault. My dad smoked in the house.
Oh, Jesus, that's not fun. So.
I was making a joke of it, but now that you mentioned it, it was pretty hard. If any of my old schoolmates ever hear this, fuck you guys.
So we've got another one that comes from France. This one's called Lutin. Lutin. L-U-T-I-n. But Lutin would be the way you would say it in French.
Is it L-O...
L-U-T-I-n.
Lutin.
Yeah. So, it's a French house spirit. So apparently they resemble goblins or imps.
Is this coming over with French immigrants?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think this came from France. So,
but the idea, I'm curious.
It originated in France.
Do they feel? Is there an origin to this that's like they traveled with immigrants, or are they an encompassing thing that's all over the world?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But so apparently they're not necessarily evil. They're just very temperamental. So they're not like
Ghost Dad.
They're just tricky. Yeah, like Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby's Ghost Dad. Yeah.
Very, very, very tricky. That
tricky.
Very tricky. That Bill Cosby.
Oh boy, that's a tricksy one.
Don't accept any drinks from him.
The ghost dad keeps dropping invisible ghost shit through your drink. He's like, I can't get. Oh, it won't go in the drink.
I want to rape her so bad.
No, don't do that one. Don't do that joke. Delete that joke. You gotta do context. Don't say the thing. You gotta say it around it.
No, I said it.
Delete it. Delete that.
So if a Lutan likes the people in the house where they live, they'll serve as guardians.
Otherwise, it kills them brutally.
But if they don't, or if those people anger them in any way, they play tricks. They hide their shoes, mismatch the shoes, tie the laces together. They do a lot of shoe-related stuff. Literally, it says hide their shoes, mismatch their shoes, tie the laces together, or hide pebbles in them.
I mean, like, to me, this just sounds like steal their panties, drill holes in the wall so it can see them in the shower. It's just the Porky's ghost.
Yeah, they'll also blunt knives and scissors.
Tom is just a bunch of fucking French frat boys.
Yeah. They also blunt your knives and scissors, and they can make themselves invisible, but you may hear them giggling at your discomfiture.
Like, oh, my goddamn knife dull again, you son of a bitch.
But they can be charmed or bribed into going back to becoming guardians. You have to be nice and polite to them.
Knives?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Lieutenant's a fucking piece of shit. Like, I'm trying to cut this tomato, and he's really fucking me over. Like,
I'm just squishing it.
And you know what? Now, like, he
wants
me to make fucking peace. Like, now, you can still. Like,
you have to be nice and polite to them. Well, after so many pebbles in your shoes,
no, they can suck my dick. All right, I'll fucking check my shoes. I'll sharpen my knives before I use them. Fuck, Lieutenant.
These aren't the same shoes. These are mismatched. Come on,
this asshole.
So
I carry my shoes around my neck.
So if you want them to go back to being guardians, you have to be nice and polite to them. You have to leave food offerings for them in the kitchen after dark. And they'll have a bit of whatever you're having, except that they don't like salt. So don't spice your fucking food at all.
Everything's getting salty. Fuck him.
Salt, however, now listen, if you don't have them, you can strategically place salt around your house. That keeps them away.
Oh, that's classic.
Yeah, right.
That's I'm super Irish, and that's like sort of like the shit is.
But listen,
salt your shit.
Yeah. But in exchange for your kindness, affection, and regular offerings, the Lutan will guard children, animals, house, and land. They'll perform household chores at night while the family sleeps. So that's kind of a cool
household chores. Like
we're gonna take the garbage out,
cobble your shoes, and do the dishes.
You forgot tonight's or tomorrow's trash day.
They bring
the fucking recycling out to the road.
My initial go fuck yourself is unwarranted. If you're just kind of cool, maybe you don't salt your food too much, and give them a little.
I don't feel like doing the dishes tonight. You go to bed, the dishes are all done when you wake up.
My dog does exactly dick at night, and I still feed him from my plate. And
fucking asshole.
Dog pees on the floor.
Do anything. What do you even do here?
Shithead dog. I gotta vacuum all his hair up. Luton at least is like, whoo, I got you with the shoes.
I'm gonna sew these pants up.
But like my cat, if I could go to put my shoes on, I'm like, fucking piss. Cat's like, you didn't change my litter box.
Maybe that's the reason why. That's
There's your scientific reasoning.
How it came around was
fucking Luton.
People's pets just being assholes.
Like,
the Luton got me again.
Negligent pet owners. I got them Luton piss in my shoes.
How the laces get put together?
Why no is it they got the one shoe chewed and one shoe not chewed?
This one is hilarious.
You gotta leave food offerings at night and they're happy? Yeah, that's it's your dog, asshole.
Not too much salt.
Vengeful spirit.
Yeah. Oh, let me guess. If you put too much salt on it, you wake up to a fresh pile of vomit by the door.
Not only did they not clean the shit out of they didn't clean my dishes.
He threw up on the door
not
again.
Only did they not wash the dishes I strategically placed on the floor for them, they threw up all over them because the food was too salty.
Oh my god. Okay, so moving on from...
They don't like onions. I don't know.
Moving on from Luton, we've got...
we can do this bit for a while.
We can, but we've got really good ones to get to still. Because basically, the rest of Louisiana and most of Michigan is fucking hysterical. So, this was the one that got me. As soon as I saw the name, I was like, what a fucking hysterical name. The Grunch.
The Grunch.
The Grunch is the funniest fucking name. It's also known as Grunch Road Monster.
Okay, I'm going to let you know, I've heard you mention the Grunch.
Uh-huh.
I did not write it down or do any research when we were doing our pre-show.
Yeah.
So I'm just hit it with me fresh, baby.
It's like I think it's like a lizard chupacabra, basically. It's this lizard look. All of the.
I'm sorry, a chupa what?
Chupacabra.
What is that?
Chupacabra. You don't know the chupacabra?
What? Is it from
It
Florida, Louisiana, or Michigan? No, I don't fucking know what it is. It's the goat sucker. I know what it is. I'm just saying, hey,
it literally
you can't use cryptids. You can't use other cryptids as a reference.
Most people have heard of chupacabra, I feel like. Right?
I
think people, everybody has an ancillary knowledge of Bigfoot and Nessie and, wolf.
I guess chupacabra.
Man.
Yeah, I guess chupacabra.
I feel like is in there. Mothman.
Mothman. I mean, that kind of fits with like fucking Area 51.
Most people have at least heard of it, even if they don't know.
That's sort of that collective consciousness.
So chupacabra,
American
chupacabra is largely Latin. Cuba, Puerto Rico, most of Central America, South America believes that chupacabra. They come at night and they
suck on your goats.
They suck your goats. Chupacabra literally means goat sucker, but they steal your livestock, basically. So.
And of course, it's very commonly in parlance used as like goat sucker. Yeah. In American parlance, but it really means more like consumer.
Yes.
Rather than suck. Yeah.
They're not sucking off the goats.
Sucking your fucking goats.
The happiest herd of goats ever.
The goats like,
the goats are the most.
There's my top impersonation of the day. Goat being sucked off by the chupacabra.
But most of them, if you look like chupacabra, like artwork, they're like hairy little. I don't know, like dog sized.
Patrick Wall is Hispanic.
Dog
He's not just some asshole doing that fucking accent.
No. Just trying to be.
If I do like
chupacabra,
if I do chupacabra,
that sounded very Italian.
I suck. I have to say chupacabra. Fucking pale as milk.
But if you if you look at
my brother-in-law's Latin.
Well, then you get it. You get it. Oh, you get a pass.
No,
if you look at artwork, they look like they're little dog-sized, like hairy little scary beasts with big eyes and fangs and shit.
I mean, I've seen a lot of like chupacabra illustrations that are like kind of like alien lizard men, sort of like little short lizard guys.
Well, so the grunches always like look. They're very reptilian.
Reptilian-esque, like big eyes, fucking kind of like fucking scaly skin.
I feel like I've always seen hairy. I feel like every chupacabra that I've seen, like, obviously it's all artwork. I'm not seeing photos of them.
Yeah, of course.
They're all like hairy, but I mean, I don't.
Well, I guess maybe it's just selective like pics, but the ones that I've always seen, because again, I went through fucking a big crypto phase for a long time. Cryptids, not the coins, and I always saw like fucking scaly skin, big eyes, sometimes with like horned ridges on their back, but mostly kind of humanoid and small.
Okay.
Clawed hands a little bit.
Well, so the reason why they are also known as the Grunch Road Monster is that in early New Orleans, when it was still like fairly new city, underdeveloped, there was a road in the eastern suburbs called Grunch Road, and it was like a dead end road that ended in like woods, and so the story went that in the woods lived a group of albinos and dwarves who had been forced to retreat to that area, right? And that was like their little hiding spot.
Hold on a second. Why is it albinos and dwarves?
Albinos and dwarves.
Are we just looking at like outcasted people?
I think at albinos and dwarf humans.
Right. Yeah.
So, and they had been forced to sort of hide
outcasted people
at the end of this road.
Probably had a lobster boy or a fucking like a clubfoot in there as well.
Right. So it was
freaks,
just
fucking freaks. Throw the freaks out. Yeah.
That was what they were called at the time. Was freaks. Yeah. So they
popular nomenclature, not my particular preference.
Right. But they were thought to be creations of the devil, and they couldn't be with normal society. I
believe that they probably were creations of the devil. But
So eventually, they all inbred and combined their deformities, and the descendants went mad and turned into the Grunches.
Oh, they're hillbilly swamp freaks.
I guess so.
They're hillbilly redneck swamp freak midget albinos.
So the location now is disputed, but it's in eastern New Orleans somewhere.
Little people, not midgets.
Right. Don't say that. They don't like that.
Can I do my midget thing real quick?
Do your midget thing. Go for it.
I want to, every time that I reference midgetism, I want it to be clear that I specifically refer to proportionate people under 5 feet. That is a midget. That is the absolute definition of a midget. People with completely proportionate limb architecture and bodies under 5 feet tall. That including my mother. These are midgets, right? People with dwarfism can be referred to as dwarves or little people.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
and sometimes I fuck it up and I fucking say the shit because I'm an old bigot, I guess. But like, but I'm not trying to do that. I would love to be a better person. You see a
dwarf walking down the street, you're midget. It just pops right out of you.
No, I am that asshole that if I see somebody under 5 feet and I'm like, oh, you're a fucking midget.
Wow.
And not to them.
You shouldn't say that.
Not to them.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're gonna say it, you should say it.
Listen, Robert Downey Jr. does it in the movie Sherlock Holmes.
He says midget?
Yeah, he refers to somebody who's proportionate under 5 feet tall as a midget. Oh. And people are like, you can't say that. And he's like, well, that's fucking what it is. I don't know.
I've never heard this, so this is the first for me.
Well, you should watch that movie. It's a good flick.
So, later in time, right, the location was
disputed. All I want to say is, I'm just joking.
The location was disputed, but they knew it was Eastern New Orleans. Everybody had basically forgotten about the Grunchies until...
The Grunchies?
I made that one
The award, the annual award for...
And this year's
Best
Grunch.
Grunch.
Everybody forgot about it.
He is, Mr. Grunchery.
Everybody forgot about it until farm animals and people started disappearing, and reports of strange creatures roaming the woods along that road started.
Oh, some old Sawney Bean shit.
I mean, we're talking about... I mean, it doesn't give a year here, but I mean, if we're talking about early New Orleans, we're talking about like probably early 1800s.
Yeah, I mean that tracks with the same timeline as like
yeah.
You familiar with the Sawney Bean clan from like England and Ireland?
No.
It's a group of inbred cannibals.
Probably just a serial killer.
It was a group of inbred cannibals
that started taking animals to do weird experiments and then said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna start doing people now."
I mean, kind of where the Grunchers, right? Captain Grunch. Where this is coming from,
he's the leader of the Grunchies.
It lines in direct equation with the Sawney Bean family, which is our like
Captain Grunch and the Grunchies.
Partially, absolutely true story, I guess you could say. Like it's a really
partially absolutely.
It's like incredibly well documented as an actual case of serial killers that lived in England. I want to say Ireland, but I don't know this one that well.
Somewhere on that island.
But what?
I said somewhere on that island.
England and Ireland?
Yeah.
One island?
Well, I mean, there's a little part that's not.
Yeah, it's the Ireland part.
But part of Ireland's on the main where England is.
What?
Right?
No.
Am I just stupid? The whole of Ireland is its own separate...
The Emerald Isle?
I thought there was part of Ireland that was... you know what? Maybe I'm just dumb.
You're a dumb son
I'm usually really good with geography.
He's so mad at you right now.
I thought it was Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, maybe whatever.
So also, he doesn't know me, and I don't care.
Werner, whatever.
Cillian Murphy, suck my balls.
Like, check this out. Okay, so
actually, I respect him as an actor. He's great.
Yeah, he's actually fantastic. Really, really good. I wouldn't have given him best actor this year. Whatever. He was fucking good. He was great. He's the best part of that fucking movie, which isn't that great. Anyway,
he's a great actor.
Great actor.
But he can also suck my balls.
Okay. Okay. So Sawney Bean is a Scottish legend, which is.
Wow, you were all wrong. So I was right. It is on that island. You asshole.
You mentioned one of two islands.
The one with
the one
England
you meant is the one that I.
The one with England on it.
Yes, the island with England on it. But he was said to be the head of a 45-member clan in Scotland in the 16th century, so the 1700s.
Okay.
Right? So, essentially, this is somebody who was a bit of a ne'er-do-well, fucked off from society, lived in a cave, and then was kind of a highwayman and would rob, rape.
Were they all his kids, or was it?
Yeah, the 45. Yeah, the 45 clan.
Jesus Christ.
His kids and grandkids.
Busy boy.
It was a big incestuous madness. So, Sawney Bean would, kidnap, rape, murder, rob, eat whoever was on the road near his fucking cave.
Interesting.
And long enough, and we're talking about 50 years maybe, till they had 45 people in his clan. Eventually they got massacred by like whatever militia established itself, and we're like, hey, let's get rid of this fucking guy. But that goes right in line with our friends here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so
and about 100 years earlier, so it actually makes a lot of sense that sort of legend would carry over, or at least be like.
I mean,
because his inbred children are supposed to all be freakish fucking monsters.
Right. It's like that horror movie.
It's like the X-Files episode, the Home.
Well, so
you ever see that one? That's a good one.
I don't think I did.
That's a fucking good one.
So there's a variation on the legend that says.
Are you talking about
The Hills Have
Wrong
Eyes.
Turn? Oh, okay. Wrong turn works too.
Yeah, so there's a variation on the legend that says the group in the woods sold their souls to the devil in order to gain a protector, and they would torture and sacrifice animals in order to maintain the protection. There's a lot of, so another one says that if you travel along Grunch Road, you may see a stray injured goat. If you leave your car to help the animal, the Grunch will come and drain your blood and devour your body.
But hold on a second. If you try to help the injured goat on Grunch Road,
yeah, it's a trap.
Would it be a good band name if we called ourselves Injured Goat on Grunch Road?
No, that's an album name.
Grunch Road Goat?
Captain Grunch and the Grunchies.
Or just Grunch Goat?
Grunch Goat.
Grunch Goat. That could be doomy.
So...
grab the goat by the grunge.
So the basically the synopsis on the Grunch is like, if you're on Grunch Road, then there's this whole clan of weird
fucking cannibalistic monsters.
Monsters that'll.
It's the same legend. It's the same fucking thing. I swear to God. It's that's if you're going through the Scottish Highlands and you're gonna go off by fucking Dickhole Valley. And you look out for the pile of bones because that's where the fucking creepy fucks eat you.
Where the creepy fucks eat you.
And it's like, oh, Sam went down old creepy fuck valley and he didn't come back.
Came back.
And then somebody went like, you know what, God damn it.
We found bones.
Let's get a militia together and go take care of this shit. And it's like, oh shit, there's 45 freakish horror shows living in this cave, fucking each other.
So... this is a fun one from the 19th century, from originally like the 1880s. So this one is called, this is a mysterious Louisiana figure known as the Wild Girl of Catahoula.
The Wild Girl of Catahoula. I heard a song about her one time.
Wild Girl of Catahoula. So I feel like...
God, it's romantic. What a romantic name, though.
So no one ever knew her identity. Some speculated she was an abandoned child of a gypsy woman who once lived in the area with two young girls. One of the children was deformed and I guess maybe had a club foot. And so the first stories, like I said, appeared in like the early 1800s.
Wait, hold on a second. One of these children had a club foot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
And she was the daughter of a gypsy woman. So... there was this Swilly family. So this was in the news. This was the Catahoula News. Reported that someone was causing a great deal of excitement 15 miles west of town. So this Swilly family claimed that a girl snatched up a goose on their farm and took off to the woods and evaded a bunch of search parties. Right?
Just some random girl just ran through.
Just a girl. Yeah. A couple months later, a month later, a couple of guys. Reportedly saw Wild Girl near Hemps Creek in LaSalle Parish. And then this is also in the St. Paul Daily Globe said, they say she is one of the most ferocious looking beings that the human eye was ever cast upon.
Ferocious looking, like not like a comely lass. Like
no.
This is a scary bitch.
The men tried to question her, but she wouldn't let him get close. Again, quote from the newspaper, she is fleet as a deer, and at one leap she cleared a root 7 feet high. She uses no language, only gibberish. The men described the wild girl as being about 16 years old, 4.5 feet tall, with long, beautiful brown hair, and weighing 125 to 140 pounds. She carried a knife and seemed to limp as she walked, although they could not detect a deformed foot. Again, a search party was organized and nobody could capture her. So 3 months later, in another newspaper, the St. Martinville Weekly Messenger said that the Wild Girl of Catahoula has turned up again. This time the witnesses were a couple other men. This is how they describe them. Men of good character who were fishing on Clear Creek near Little River.
Usually the descriptor of men of good character is almost always bullshit.
Yeah, right.
In any fucking account, because that's like, oh, the judge has to clear this, and he's like, well, these are men of good character, and they're all a bunch of degenerate fucking dickheads. Yeah, fucking murdered somebody in the swamp.
So.
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like a bunch of good old boys trying to fuck old girl in the swamp.
So
like, we're gonna find this bitch.
So one of the guys said that they heard that
give us some civilizing.
They heard, yeah. Well, the whole thing sounds like Boudreaux went out to the bar one night and was like, "Oh shit, let me tell you what, that wild girl at Catahoula, boy, she I don't know.
Let me tell you now, she got a brown fine pelt of fur.
She squealing like a hoe, boy.
She covered in hair like a deer.
Oh, God.
She fleet of foot.
She fleet her foot.
She a wild girl, let me tell you.
She jump up a whole root. Just like that.
She jumped up that whole root. That root must have been taller than Grandma.
Taller than the Mahambra.
Must have been taller than the whole Mahambra. Which I did a little research. It seems like Mahambra is a Middle Eastern dish.
Hell yeah. Is it
like a spicy
dip. Is it made with crocodile?
Like a spicy dip.
Oh, hell yeah.
Red peppers.
So the one guy claimed that he heard some nearby hogs squealing as if something had attacked them, right? They soon came to a human being standing on a log with a pig in one hand and a short knife in the other. When she saw the two gentlemen about 30 yards off, she did not seem to be half as much afraid as they did. So they were more afraid of her from 30 yards away.
You mean like
a little girl,
crazy bitch holding a dead pig in the middle of the fucking night with a knife,
140 pounds,
covered in
4.5
blood,
foot tall
just
girl,
screaming gibberish. And you're like, oh, fuck.
The two men,
that girl wild.
The two men backed away from the woman, whom one of the guys described as, quote, a white female without clothes, and would seem to weigh about 140 pounds and is active as a cat.
A naked woman covered in blood, wielding a carcass and a fucking short sword. I have the feeling that she wasn't speaking in gibberish at all.
Short knife, short
sword, whatever. I have the feeling she was saying some shit to make them back the fuck up. Some shit like, hey, you see this pig? I will gut you that way.
I'm just saying, if it's me, a 6'2" man with another guy with me, and I'm 30 yards away from a naked girl with a knife and a pig, I'd probably just stand there and see what. I mean, because okay, you're gonna come at me like you've got a knife. Like
I wouldn't approach.
I wouldn't approach.
But
also wouldn't back away. I wouldn't back away.
I might not back away.
What the fuck is going on here?
Backing away is one thing, but it depends on. Like,
and if she was like,
I think
I'd be like,
that probably isn't fucking exact at all.
Maybe I would back away. Maybe
the way you look at these stories, you gotta think like, okay, so there's some fucking reason that they're like, all right, there's some wild bitch out there. We're gonna get a bunch of boys together. We're gonna go find this bitch. Like, when you think of that story and she's still out hunting. And, like, the story says she's naked and insane.
But, I mean, this is like 3 different newspapers reporting on 3 different...
But, I mean, like, back in the day, how many fucking reporters are going to the same source, right?
You're right.
So, like...
These are all different sources.
What it sounds like to me, and, like, you know, complete exposition, like, just totally supposition on this side. What it sounds like to me is there is a woman living in the woods... Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Classic, like, oh, that bitch is a witch, for sure. Like, a woman living in the woods... she may have poached a little bit of some people's shit, but you only got a goose and a pig so far, right?
And I don't even know that the pig might have been a wild pig. I don't know.
Exactly, right? And a coalition of strong men go out to find her, and she bitches them down like a bunch of pussies.
Well, according to them, they could never find her, but...
And, like, yeah, naked, covered in blood, that's a great detail to throw in on a story that's probably bullshit.
He said she was no clothes, seemed to weigh about 140 pounds, and was as active as a cat.
Exactly. So she's crazy. She's agitated.
She was covered with hair varying in length in different parts of her. So she just had a big bush.
Big old bush.
Big bush and armpit hair and head hair.
She's living in woods. Maybe she's insane. Okay, so
sounds like she would have to be.
Maybe she's got like a dissociative disorder. Maybe she's doing some crazy shit to survive, whatever. Or maybe is it somebody who doesn't want to be fucked with? Like, leave me alone. Just trying to eat. And these guys are like, we're gonna go fuck that
wild girl.
That swamp woman. We're gonna fuck me some swamp woman.
Well, so I mean, I guess nothing ever came of it.
Good for her.
Good
for her.
One newspaper claimed that some Alexandria businessmen decided to cash in on the story.
Hey, what did they say to you? Oh, what did she say? We couldn't really make it out. In the meantime, she's like, I know where you fucking live. I'll kill you and your children.
Or, honestly, you don't even have to say. You just point the knife at them and go, and then point at the pig and go, and then point the knife back at them, and then maybe do one of these across your neck with the knife.
Like, Johnny boy, I'll cut that dick right off of you, boy. You come any close, I'll kill you. I'll kill your mama.
I'll kill yo mama. Oh my
You
god.
know, and like, yeah, you fucking back up. You're like, all right, Sarah, or whatever the fuck her name is. Like, I feel like this is a real person, and they were just being monstrous.
So, by the way, okay, so the Echo, which is the fourth newspaper that was saying that maybe this shit wasn't true.
The Amazon Echo?
I'm not going back to look at what the Echo, not the Amazon Echo, you dick.
Gotcha.
So
Hi-yo.
they were basically saying it would make sense if it weren't for the fact that respectable citizens continued to encounter the wild girl for at least 3 more years. According to an Idaho newspaper, so now we're on newspaper number 5, the prominent Pineville merchant J.H. Hartner and his 16-year-old daughter were traveling with another couple in buggies from Fisherville to Pineville in October. So this is in Idaho? I'm not sure. But they saw quote,
dollars to donuts. These are amalgamated stories from different areas.
Right. So
travelers back and forth.
Quote, they saw a white female dressed in a faded homespun dress and barefooted. The woman ran away at such speed as all say they had never seen a human run.
She's fast.
The last mention of the wild girl that this article says was in 1891 when a woman supposed to be her, I guess, was seen in Upper Franklin Parish. She was described as being very powerful, covered with hair, and carrying a knife or sword. On one occasion, she attacked a boy at Lamara, but bystanders chased her away. Because this was the first time the wild girl was known to be violent, a group of armed men gave chase with dogs but could not catch her. The ultimate fate of the wild girl of Catahoula is not known.
Okay, yeah, so it's super, super common for a girl to fight someone and then a group of armed men with dogs chase her through the swamp. This is a bag of horseshit. Now listen, I don't want to be the resident fucking feminist leaning conspiracy guy.
Yeah,
but
why would you be?
It's always
Are you saying I'm not.
No, and listen, I mean we're both on the feminist side. Don't give me fucking. I'm not giving you shit, but like when I hear stories of women throughout history that are like, oh, she's evil, she's wild, she's a swamp woman, she's a witch. I always think immediately like she didn't fuck somebody.
She just did something, yeah. She just did something that pissed somebody off. Pissed a guy off.
Yeah, exactly. Or there's some sort of weird religious schism that you know, we need to put a fucking crime on somebody.
Right.
Deal with a medicine woman.
It's the Scarlet Letter.
She's got the untold knowledge. There's always shit like that. And it's horrifying because it's true for the most part that like if you look at history and most of the women that have ever been burned as a witch, it's always like, oh, this woman is educated, so fucking kill her.
Like I said, read the Scarlet Letter.
Even in contemporary times, you can see, like, this bitch is too smart. Scarlet Letter?
Yeah.
I mean, no, she fucked.
She did.
But
she was ousted from society.
For fucking. She broke a law. She was known
for fucking the Reverend who ousted her from society.
Well, yeah. But that's slightly different. But I understand what you're saying on the feminism side.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little closer to the Crucible, but I get you. Jesus Christ. More contemporary.
Are you ready
Henry Miller, not...
Are you ready for our final Louisiana?
Hold on. I want to talk about how wonderful women are and how badly they've been treated. But luckily, I've written a series of books. If you go onto Amazon.com and look up Women Are Great by Riley Dexter Bowen, I've got a list of 10, 12. You know, so just...
Women are great.
I love them.
Does the adjective change every time?
What? No, I'm a girl dad.
Well, I know you are. I'm a boy dad, so I hate women.
Women are
great. Women are powerful.
Women are beautiful.
Oh wow, we did the
women
first.
Women are wonderful. Women are the best.
Women be fucking.
Women be fucking. F-U-G-G.
This is the last Louisiana, and I saved this one for last because I don't know. It's not even that cool because. Again, this falls into everybody.
Admit it.
It is cool.
Admit it.
It's cool.
Admit it. You saved this one.
I saved this one because
you get to make the voice.
I get to do Boudreaux.
You get to do the fucking. You get to do that cool ass.
No, I did. I saved it honestly because it's really not that cool. It falls under the everybody's got a Bigfoot, everybody's got a Loch Ness monster, everybody's got a fucking.
That's fair.
And
but
this is
no. You saved this one because just saying its name.
Rougarou.
You got to do the Rougarou.
We got that Rougarou now.
Rougarou there.
So
Mama, that Rougarou, he come in my window, get my gumbo.
So the Rougarou is the legendary Cajun werewolf of Louisiana. That is who the Rougarou is. And by the way, some of the artwork is absolutely fucking badass. Like, If you look at some of the images of like shit that people have drawn of the Rougarou, not hilarious. I almost said hilarious. It's freaking epic. It looks so cool. The one I'm looking at right now is so badass. I'm like, that's some scary fucking shit. But it's basically
the Wolfman. It's
basically
your classic Wolfman.
It's a swamp werewolf.
Right, but like what I love about it, what I've found in the research is that it is actually in the French. So like Rougarou is that's your Cajun
comes from loup-garou, which means
French
werewolf.
So Loup. A callback to that joke I made at the beginning of the episode with everyone. So the loup-garou, or I guess in French we loup-garou.
Loup-garou.
No, that sounds so fucking Spanish. How do I say French?
Yeah, loup-garou. Loup-garou.
Je suis Napoleon, vive la France, loup-garou. There you go. That's the one. Yeah.
You're rolling your R instead of doing the loup-garou. Loup-garou.
Loup-garou. El loup-garou.
Yeah, you're doing loup-garou.
But it goes back to me
like a Mexican guy.
to make another movie reference.
Hey, it's the loup-garou.
If anyone's ever seen Le Pack de Loup, also known as Brotherhood of the Wolf, starring Mark Dacascos, fucking dope movie.
Well, loup means
wolf.
Wolf. And garou means werewolf.
Le
apparently.
Pack de Loup.
So loup-garou means wolf werewolf. Apparently, in French.
Wolf werewolf.
Wolf werewolf.
That's a cool band name.
So we should change the name of the podcast. Band names.
It's like a
Band
wolf.
names
It's a
with Patrick
wolf.
O'Reilly.
It's a wolf that turns into a werewolf.
Yeah.
That's wolf werewolf.
Oh, that's cool. Instead of
That
a
is
human
cool.
that turns
He
into a
doesn't
werewolf.
turn in. He's freaked out because he's got human bits.
That's
He's like, yeah, fuck yeah.
and he can talk and shit. Why can I verbalize my thoughts?
Why am I man?
Why
man not wolf?
Why penis look different?
Ah! That's fucking cool. I like that. I like that whole idea.
That
actually.
is cool.
That's cool.
Oh, watch
That's
out,
going-
Twilight. Here we
It's
come.
Going in the pile. Watch out, Twilight, you fucks.
So the history is it's 16th century medieval French folklore is where it originally came from.
Le Pack de Loup.
But it was brought to Louisiana by the French settlers, and the name changed at some point from loup-garou to rougarou, and
It comes with the drop. It comes with it. He goes, loup-garou, 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 rougarou.
I was just making some jambalaya, and that rougarou he come in the door.
You bust out a man with a stick. That's Green Mile.
I don't remember that part.
Then you make water in your pants like a little baby.
I just remember him grabbing Tom Hanks by the dick. That's really the only part of that movie I remember.
Who grabbed Tom Hanks by the dick?
The big guy.
Oh yeah, because he had like gonorrhea.
Because he had... Did he have gonorrhea? I thought he had like testicular cancer.
I had the worst urinary infection of my life.
Is that what he says?
Yeah.
I thought he just had like testicular cancer or something.
No, he had like some fucking awful urinary tract infection that would probably never clear up and he would die or something. But
so he grabs him by the dick.
But then there's that bad guy.
He does his magic thing.
Percy Wetmore.
Fucking Stephen King. Jesus
busts
Christ.
that fucking that Cajun murderer guy who loves.
Does that movie take place in Maine? Isn't that the thing?
It must.
It's all Stephen King,
It's
right?
all Stephen King, right?
It's all takes place in Maine?
It's gotta.
Maine, right?
It's gotta take place in Maine.
Is that all of his movies are Maine? Or all his books are Maine?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that correct? I'm pretty sure. They're all
I'm
Maine.
pretty sure. I mean, he's a Maine guy, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He's my main man.
But it doesn't really fall into line with the whole like mid-century black people are bad thing, does it?
With the Maine?
Yeah.
Okay, actually, this is if we're gonna get there. I spent a good. I spent a good deal of time in Maine, and boy, oh boy, if you're not Maine born and raised, you can go
it's
fuck
like
yourself.
that?
And it's more like there's this saying in Maine.
They are. Where are you from?
There's a saying.
It's like being in the country here. Go anywhere away from the coast here. Go drive 20 minutes away from the coast here, and you walk into a bar and you get a whole bunch of where you from.
Yeah, where you from, exactly. So in Maine, though, they have a saying that says something along the lines of like, fucking, oh, Jesus Christ, just because you fucking put mud in the oven doesn't mean you're going to make biscuits or something. It's like, if your parents aren't from Maine, then you're fucking trash. You could be born in Maine, but if your parents
That's so weird.
If you're born in Maine but your parents aren't from Maine, then you are not a Mainer.
Maine seems like a weird place.
It is odd. It's odd. I like it a lot. It's beautiful.
Oh,
But
sure, it's gorgeous.
When I was up there, I was
You
like,
know how many places? West Virginia is gorgeous.
yeah, gorgeous, awful.
Yeah,
I
but
never-
take all the people out. It'd be
when I
the
was in Maine,
best state.
I,
The people that are there, it's arguably the worst, if not one of. Sorry, anybody from West Virginia. You know what I'm talking about.
When I was in Maine,
go to your nearest convenience store, and you will know exactly what I'm talking about.
I had a couple of odd instances. One of them was
Go to the local Subway.
somebody asked if I was from Maine, and I said no, but my great grandfather is, and he said ugh, and like walked away. And I was like, oh boy. And then another time, I told my wife, who's a person of color, that I loved it up there. I thought it was beautiful, and I could see myself staying there. And she said, let me check it out. And then she responded with like, oh, 0.4 black people. Like
Half of a black person.
0.4% black
Yeah.
people in that state.
Yeah,
She's like,
it's like
I don't
Maine is
think
like
so.
96% white.
Exactly. Oh, more. Far
Yeah.
more. Yeah, it's very, very isolated, very unusual. So, like, the Green Mile makes a lot of sense. Except for the magic part.
The magic is...
Anyway, that's where the whole... He bust out a man with a stick, and then he...
Well,
made
that's what I'm saying.
water
Is the
in his
whole
pants
the
like a little
whole
baby.
thing that movie just feels very Southern. It feels very like 1940s, 1950s
It's
Southern.
set in a prison.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the Rougarou, shall we? Because
Excuse me, I would like to talk about Stephen King. No, go
I wouldn't.
I don't either. I fucking hate Stephen King. Anyway.
I don't hate Stephen King. I just think like there was a point where it was
No, let's get back
kind of
to
cool,
the Rougarou.
and then it just kept going, and it was like
You're going to put me on a Stephen King rant.
okay, I'm stopping. So you may have seen
Stephen
me.
King can't write his way out of... I'm joking. That's fine. He can write, I guess.
Stephen King can suck my balls after
Suck
Cillian
my
Murphy's
whole
done.
fucking ass.
Let's Cillian Murphy. You know what? Cillian Murphy can have one ball, and Stephen King can have
Wait,
the other one. And both
after
suck my
killing
balls.
Cillian Murphy's dog?
I said after Cillian Murphy's done.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier, I told him to suck my balls. So
Oh,
now-
yeah, I gotcha.
But I respect Stephen King.
I will reserve both balls for Stephen King.
I respect Stephen King for what he's done over the years.
I have no respect for
whatever.
Stephen King, and I hope that he dies.
I-
That's harsh.
I think his biggest curse is the way he looks. Just look at the guy. It's just
He looks like a gibbon.
he looks weird. He's a weird looking guy.
He looks like a shaved orangutan. Man.
So you may have seen me while you were talking
Fuck you,
about
Stephen King.
while you were talking about Green Mile, covering my whole face so as not to laugh out loud into the microphone, because I was just browsing this Rougarou information
You
here.
were dicking around. You weren't paying attention.
And I was very engaged the whole time. I read this part. The Rougarou was used as a tool to instill fear and obedience in children and adults alike. For example, elders would warn children that if they misbehaved or ventured into the woods at night, the Rougarou would come and get them.
You better pick up them clothes, boy.
This was
Them
the part
Rougarou.
that made me almost piss myself
Almost
trying to keep my
Jimmy
laughter
Fallon
in.
it.
Similarly, Catholics who broke the rules of Lent for 7 years in a row would be hunted down and killed by the Rougarou. So if you were a Catholic and you didn't abide by your Lent shit,
If you didn't fucking
if you don't-
fast,
yeah,
if you
well,
ate
no, no,
anything
no,
other
no,
than fish.
No, that's not what it is. That's
What-
on Saturday or Sunday. In Lent, you give something up for the 40. Lent is 40 days long, right?
Yeah.
So you
no, there's
decide
more rules
you
than
decide.
that.
Well,
I was
there
raised,
are.
I
There
was
are.
raised Catholic. You are too. Fuck, you're Brazilian.
But you give something
You're
up.
Catholic as shit.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of. Well, actually, there are.
I never gave up a goddamn thing. I never got Rougarou.
It's mostly Catholic in Brazil. But yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah.
If you broke the rules for 7 years in a row, you'd be hunted down and killed by him.
Damn. Well, I guess Josh Hartnett's safe.
Why is he?
Anybody ever see 40 Days and 40 Nights? I'm going to keep making movie references. He gave up sex for Lent, and he made it all the way
I
through.
remember that.
It's a good movie. Shannon Sussman.
What a stupid movie. So the Rougarou is often described as a creature with a human body and the head of a wolf or dog, similar to a werewolf. However, some variations depict it as a rabbit, a pig, an alligator, or even, I don't know how you could be scared of this, a mosquito.
You wouldn't be scared of a man with a mosquito's head? I don't know how you could be scared of that. He's got a fucking sword nose, and he's going to stab it into you and suck your blood. That'd be horrifying.
I just imagine a big mosquito.
The rabbit is interesting.
The rabbit is less scary, for sure.
I guess, but if you've ever seen an old classic film called Night of the Leapin',
I have not.
Not the Lupin.
If you guys have not noticed yet, Riley has seen so many fucking movies, and he's somehow just a cache of fucking...
Night of the Lepin is so fucking good. It is a bad movie. But like it's what it is the horror of it is it's some sort of a situation where rabbits have become gigantic. And the way this is exhibited in the film is just by like superimposing rabbits on regular places, but like big.
Oh my god!
And everyone's like, ah, no! And it'll show like
Stupid.
a rabbit's mouth going like, tip, 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 tip. And then it'll be like, ah, and then blood, and then it'll show like a rabbit chew. I guess they put like a fucking legs on a carrot or something and fed it to the rabbit, so the rabbit's like, nom, 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 nom. And you just see this fucking giant rabbit eating legs. It's so
Christ.
dumb. It's perfect.
Well, so I'm so over the goddamn Rougarou at this point.
The Lougarou.
The fucking the giant rabbits killed it for me.
Well, I mean, think of a giant monster, or even a regular man-sized beast with a rabbit head. Just they got big fucking teeth.
Yeah, but they're not sharp.
Yeah, whatever. Whose teeth are sharp? You think
Wolves?
you think you couldn't bite through a person?
Eventually.
Yeah, but like you have dull ass teeth. Like a
Gross.
rabbit's teeth are
I
sharper.
don't want to think about that. So,
Nom, 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 nom,
according
nom,
to some stories, the Rougarou is a human who has been cursed by a witch or by breaking Lent. So the Lent thing just keeps coming back. The curse lasts for 101 days, during which the person transforms into Rougarou every night. The only way to break the curse is to
Fucking kill yourself.
is to transfer
Jesus
it.
Christ.
Yeah.
Oh boy, work's over. I guess hold on, I gotta go home real quick and change before I turn into the rabbit monster.
The only way to fucking giant mosquito.
I had to lock myself in the shed. Fuck.
The only way to break the curse is to transfer it to another human by drawing their blood. However, the person who receives the curse cannot tell anyone about it for fear of being killed by the community. If they do tell someone, they will die
be killed
instantly.
by the community.
They'll die instantly.
Be
Apparently they go,
murdered.
hey, I'm a Rougarou.
Oh,
They're
fuck
dead.
it. Everyone's like, oh shit, John's a Rougarou.
Yeah. By the way, problem solved. 101 days
I would
my ass.
walk directly out into the street and be like, hey, I'm the new Rougarou, everybody. Let's
And
do this.
die. And then you die. No, you die
bleh.
instantly. It doesn't even
Or
have
I
to
just
do with
like,
the
get your whips, get your guns, get your chains, and we're gonna do it like this.
Other stories say that the Rougarou is permanently cursed and cannot change back to a human form. It can only be killed by fire or by cutting off its head. Some legends also say that the Rougarou can be replaced or can be repelled by placing 13 small objects near an entrance, such as coins or beans.
That's old school vampire
The
stuff.
Rougarou will be compelled to count them, but will lose track because it cannot count past 12.
He can't count past 12. This is dumb as fuck. It's got a mosquito brain. He can't count shit. Seeing 1, 2, fuck.
So, by the way, just a fun little tie-in here. Every year, in Houma, Louisiana, there's a Rougarou Fest.
Ah, I love a fest.
It's a Cajun culture fest,
It's nice.
and it's called Rougarou Fest.
Where
in the
they
town where I'm from.
Find somebody that can't
And
count
they
past
cut-
12.
and they cut his head
put a
off.
fucking wolf head on him and murder him in the
Cut his
street.
head off and set him on fire.
Hey, if I was going to say anything about like where I might think this sort of legend comes from, a lot of it's obviously very convoluted and brought from different areas, but I think that the can't count past 12 is honestly, like looking into lore, some of this gets really dark. That just shows like an intellectual disability base.
Right, like they're gonna
You're
kill
like,
people who
yeah,
are dumb.
Lil Mikey's retarded, and we're gonna kill him.
He
'cause
must
he's
be a
fucking
Rougarou.
Rougarou. Yeah, that sucks.
We have to set him on fire and cut his head off.
face is different.
Yeah,
Like it's fucking you're just murdering a Down
yeah,
syndrome
it's just
kid.
like
That sucks.
educated women in Salem, Massachusetts.
Bam, bam, bing, bang, boom. Right? But hey, actually, I think this might be a good segue into our next segment. Because if there's a Rougarou Fest, let's talk about a little thing I like to call the March of the Nain Rouge.
The Nain Rouge,
Ah, the Nain Rouge. Personal favorite.
Detroit's harbinger of doom.
Which is a dope-ass
The
title.
Nain Rouge, :
Harbinger of Doom.
Detroit's harbinger of doom.
I feel like there was another one that we did earlier that I wanted to put a colon on. Not coon ass. No, there's another one that's like
coon ass :
it,
come
it
on,
sounds
you
like,
can't do that.
Oh, no, the Grunch : the Grunch 2.
Return of the Grunchies.
Right, so like I grew up hearing about the Nain Rouge being born just outside of Detroit. or actually, I would like to say in the Metro Detroit area. Not allowed to say I'm from Detroit.
I don't give a fuck, dude. Say you're from Detroit.
I'm not allowed to.
I say I'm from outside of New Orleans. You just say
I
Detroit.
literally told, or I said something on Facebook a while ago that was like, where I'm from, just outside of Detroit, and my cousin chimed in like, Psh, you're from Royal Oak. I was like, yeah, that's...
Where is that located? Is it just outside of Detroit?
It is 9 minutes from the fucking center of Detroit.
I'm from just outside of New Orleans, and it's 45 minutes to an hour, depending
nightmare.
On the roads, which suck in Louisiana. So
it's like saying, like, I'm from Queens, and somebody being like, Psh, you're not from New York. Get the fuck out. Get out of town. Anyway, so Detroit...
I'm from New York. Yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah, you ain't from no real New Yorks.
Jesus
you're not
Christ.
from Detroit. You're from that other part of Detroit that's still fucking.
I don't give a shit, and if anybody acts us on it, then fuck them.
I think that the popular ideology of like what Detroit really is a fucking nightmare.
Well, the thing is, it's the culture is what.
Yeah.
So, are you from a place where the culture of that place permeates where you grew up? Then yes.
We got the same fucking newscast every
Then
day.
yes, exactly. Am I from New Orleans proper? Did I grow up fucking, in the quarter? No. No, I grew up in a place that was fucking New Orleans adjacent, and it was,
Well, I feel vindicated. I feel so vindicated. Thank you.
Culture's the same. Culture's
what I'm trying to say is
same.
everybody can suck my balls. Anyway. So
everybody,
every
single person line up. Get in the line,
down.
Single file. Balls are coming out.
It's $1 a ball. I'm not giving it to you. You're giving me $1.
A fucking ton of money.
Hell yeah, and I'll do it.
Are we talking about everybody on the earth, or everybody listening to this?
Tune into the Patreon.
If it's everybody listening, you're not going to make much money.
We're going to do the Riley Bowen Ball Fest. If you want to suck a ball, you get 4 seconds,
ball
and it's $1 a ball.
Gross.
You give me $20, you can be there for a while. Anyhow, I don't like this joke.
Sounds like you're getting the best of both situations here.
I mean, depends on what people are into.
Sometimes people do that.
Like,
do that suction and you know what? Stop. No.
Delete this. Delete this.
Delete everything.
Delete everything.
The whole thing.
We can use this as the intro.
Put the whole thing in the trash.
So, okay. I grew up hearing about the Nain Rouge. I never knew what the fuck it really was, but there's every year there'd be this weird little like March of the Nain Rouge. That's this bizarre local festival in Detroit in which somebody would dress up as some impish little character, and a bunch of people would chase them the fuck out of town. It sounds like a weird. It sounds like some weird shit you'd see in like a fucking. Like an Irving, Washington Irving
Christ.
Fucking story.
Oh my god. They chase the guy out of town.
They chase the fuck out of town.
Do they know what they're signing up for ahead of time?
Yeah, of course. It's like they get to be like, "Oh, I'm the Nain Rouge." All right, so Nain Rouge translates to red dwarf or red imp.
Oh my god.
The Nain is synonymous with dwarf.
Oh Jesus.
And so like the legend is that one of the
I almost
founders,
popped an artery on that. Jesus.
Like
Christ.
Detroit's founder is Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
You might have heard the word Cadillac before.
Sir de Cadillac.
He started it. He's a French guy. His name is Cadillac, and he was warned by a fortune teller to like fucking to appease this red dwarf that he would see during the founding of his city. And instead, when he saw him, he was like, "Get the fuck out of my way, asshole!" And he like beat him with a cane. And then a bad bunch of shit happened to him. He was charged with like abuse of power, and he was kicked out to Louisiana.
Well, what's funny is that the curse was on him and the city.
And the city. And I don't know if anybody knows the history of Detroit. Shit has not gone particularly well there. A lot of bad stuff happened to old Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac, and the city has reaped the repercussions for a very long time.
For him hitting a
creepy
a
little
dwarf,
midget,
a dwarf
character.
with a cane.
Yeah, but like I would also like to say there's a huge similarity with this character and what London would call Spring Heel Jack, which was like a kind of a effigial character for.
I've heard of that. I don't know that.
Yeah, Spring Heel Jack would be like another horned red satanic character that causes misfortune.
Okay.
So London's got one of these. Detroit's got one of these. I'm sure there's a lineage you could follow into France.
Yeah.
You know. But so bad luck happened to him, and then a bunch of other bad shit happened around the city. I mean, at one point there was like a fucking massacre.
Well, the Great Fire of 1805 that basically fucking burned down all of Detroit. They blamed on Baton Rouge.
1763, the Battle of Bloody Run, where 58 British soldiers were killed by Native Americans.
By the way, just as a sidebar, let's just note that in the 1800s all the way to like 1920,
constant massacres. All sorts of shit.
I was going to say, basically every city in the entire United States burned to the ground.
Yeah, a lot of burning, a lot of murdering.
Everything burned to the fucking ground.
There were a lot of natives that were not necessarily pleased with the plundering and horror attached to these major cities.
That's weird.
And oftentimes they'd be like, hey, let's kill these people and burn their shit down. You know? So there's a lot of that.
Yeah, sore losers,
and in
really.
that
Sore
respect,
losers
even though we did discuss the Wampus Cat as the only, like, hero cryptid, there is a lot of documentation of the Nain Rouge actually being on the side of the natives.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, in this case, in the Battle of Bloody Run, where 58 British soldiers were killed by Native Americans from Chief Pontiac's Ottawa tribe.
Oh, wow.
You might have heard the word Pontiac before. There's a lot of car shit that happens in Detroit. Cadillac, Pontiac.
We get it.
Yeah, it's a lot of car stuff.
We get it.
It's kind of why it's just... Something about cars. But anyway, so like supposedly the Nain Rouge was dancing among the corpses along the banks of the Detroit River.
Oh.
In fact, his other name, in a better translation, is the Demon of the Strait. And Detroit, the French Detroit, means narrow passage of water between two areas of land, which could also be interpreted as a strait.
Did you already do this bit? I feel like you already hit us with that knowledge earlier.
Did I say that, or was that deleted?
I don't know.
We can go back. We can delete it. We can delete all of it. So we can delete everything.
It's all been deleted.
But yeah, so like, there's been a run of shit with the Nain Rouge. He's some weird little kind of character, and he just pops up, and if you see him, essentially you're fucked.
By the way, also in 1976, when some civil unrest and racial tension was going on in the country, several quote.
What do you mean? What happened in 1976?
67. Did
Oh,
I say 76?
1967?
67.
Oh, that's better even.
Yeah.
It seems like that's further away from bad stuff.
Some stuff happened.
What happened?
Did
the city burn down? Was there a massive... was it the only time that the National Guard was deployed on a civilian populace?
Some people were upset about some things.
Seemed
and
bad.
They had some things to say
like
about it.
Some sort of a race
and then some other
war,
people, other people were real upset that those people were being what they would refer to as uppity, and they decided to react violently, and some shit went down.
Something about the city burning down.
Some shit went down. Some people got shot.
The economic depression lasting almost 70 years.
Major figures nationwide were mysteriously murdered.
The nation's proudest city being reduced to ashes and shame.
But several eyewitness accounts before the riots that occurred in Detroit in '67.
Hold on a second. I'm going to guess. They saw a lot of civil unrest.
They claimed to have seen the Nain Rouge.
The goddamn Nain Rouge.
In the days leading up to said riots.
Yeah,
he was described as lurking near the neighborhoods.
Hey, real quick,
that would later become the epicenter of the conflict.
Patrick,
yeah,
do an impersonation of the Nain Rouge implementing civil unrest during the 1960s in Detroit.
Hey, motherfucker, you gonna give me my motherfucking rights, or we gonna burn some shit down, bitch?
Wow, that's not the way I would have gone.
Yeah, you wanted me to go. I'm the Nain Rouge. That's not the way. That's not my Nain Rouge.
Although, I mean, I guess you could say, he is classified pretty clearly as a person of color.
Jesus Christ.
Are you gonna argue the dwarves aren't people?
That's, I'm gonna move on and say.
And moving.
We were gonna.
I would have expected like. You will burn, Detroit. You will burn. For what your leader did to me.
You should have never hit me with a cane.
You hit me with a cane, and you will feel the shame.
This seems like an appropriate punishment. I got hit with a cane, so people
pain.
die now.
I felt the pain. Now you will.
Jesus Christ. Moving on. So
hold on a second. One more.
There were.
You were Cadillac, and now I'll get you back. I've come from the...
Oh my god!
Chief Pontiac said to attack,
Now he speaks in rhymes.
and now I will have his back. And all of you will lick my sack.
You know, you could have said that in my initial voice too, and it would have just put a beat to it.
Boom, chick, boom. No, I'm not gonna do that. It's funnier when it...
Chief Pontiac said to attack. I got his back.
The fuck are you?
Suck
are
on
you
my sack.
1990s Will Smith?
Yeah, it's a very
Fuck
like,
outta here.
It's like
No.
very early rap where like
You're doing
every other
Run
line was like
DMC's
in a
worst
boogie woogie
cuts?
woogie and a boom, you know. Like,
No. Delete that.
I like those. I like
delete that.
I like the old days of rap where it was just very, you know. I gotta get home, man.
It's a hip hop and a hippity hippity to the big big pop.
I gotta get out of here. How do
Hey,
I? Even...
you get off of my cloud. I don't like you, and I don't like your style.
Oh, fucking hell! I don't even. I'm looking at this page of Name Rouge info, and it's just hieroglyphics.
It's
basically.
nonsense.
It's just
Move on. Let's move
so
on.
many things are happening in my brain that I
love the Name Rouge. I think it's
process.
great. I love there's a festival. I've never been to one. I've always wanted to. One day I'll attend. Also, I really do want to advertise this. Anybody that's listening, there is a dope-ass thrash metal band from the early 2000s called Name Rouge from Detroit. I got to see them at a basement show once. They're on Spotify. Fucking check them out. They rule.
Wow, that's a.
They were
They're not
dope.
even- they're not even sponsors.
They were so fucking good.
All right.
Great show. I had a t-shirt for a while. It had a fucking cool little like circle on the back that said insert knife here. Fucking great shirt.
Moving on to the Dewey Lake Monster, which, again, lame. It's the Sister Lake Sasquatch. It's the Michigan goddamn Bigfoot.
Oh, we got another Bigfoot here. We got another Bigfoot on our
It's
hands.
so dumb.
The Dewey Lake Monster.
He's,
Well, what's the signifier for the Michigan part? Is it like now? Is he?
he was just spotted in 1964 near Dewey Lake.
Well, he's just another Bigfoot.
He's just another Bigfoot. I don't even know that he's got anything cool. You know, at least the other ones were smelly.
Is he drinking Canadian beer or something? Like,
No.
is he carrying old car parts?
He's
Is
just
he pretty sure he can salvage this 67?
everybody. He's just stealing catalytic converters.
No, but only so he can put it in his own car. Most of which, so like growing up in Detroit, pre-catalytic converter, buddy, everybody had a classic car. I know how to build a 57 something. Give me the right parts. I can put together a 57 Caddy like
And so
nobody's
does the
business.
Dewey Lake Monster, apparently, because there's nothing that differentiates him from any other purported ape-like creature that's 10 feet tall that's walking around, but nobody ever got a fucking photo of him.
Claim to fame, if everybody thinks I'm not Detroit worthy, my grandfather designed the fucking door handles on the 64 Cadillac. So
You're not even
suck
from Detroit,
my
dude. You're from
balls.
Butthole
Neither was he. He lived in
Creek.
fucking Clawson. Everybody can suck dicks.
There's also Pressy. You guys have Pressy, which is kind of dumb.
Seems prescient.
It's just it's a Loch Ness monster. It's just for Lake Superior instead of, you know.
Well, I will at least. I've swum in Lake Superior.
Mm-hmm.
I've swum in all the Great Lakes, actually. Fun fact information about myself.
Ugh,
At varying times.
so cold.
Yeah, but there's a lot that people from the South don't understand about the Great Lakes. If you've never swum in a Great Lake, there is something so refreshing and
Is it swum or swam?
swim?
Something.
If you've never done swummed, never done swummed in a Great Lakes?
If you never swumbled in them Great Lakes.
Okay, like there's a bank in Chicago, like there's an area where you can jump directly into Lake Michigan, right? And it's bottomless. Like you could totally just jump in and die if you wanted to. There's fucking you get 200 feet before you hit the fucking bottom of that shit, and it's just a straight jump, and then you can swim right out.
Okay.
And I did that with some friends, and I jumped in. I totally forgot this wasn't salt water. So by the time I'm like opening my eyes and being like, "Oh, this is gorgeous," and like cool but refreshing.
You saw
clean.
Pressy?
No, I'm down there. You can see because there's fucking sunlight everywhere, and you can fucking see forever, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous blue. I was like 12 feet underwater before I even thought about it because there's no buoyancy with freshwater.
Yeah, not
like
much less than
saltwater
saltwater,
keeps
yeah.
you up. You jump into freshwater and you're just sinking like a fucking
Yeah.
stone. So I was like 12 feet down before I even noticed. But then by the time I got out, man, it's just so fresh and clean and nice. It just smells good. Like the water in those lakes is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't recommend it enough. And also you're not afraid of shit. They
cold.
have no sharks. They have no fucking snapping turtles.
Too
and a
cold.
dick.
Too cold. That's what scares me. Is the
It's not, honestly. It's like there's a chill, but it's just water.
Look, dude. I hail from a very tropical people. We don't do the cold. All right.
You're just a little bitch.
No, I was in Charlevoix, Michigan,
Uh-huh.
in like late May.
Charlevoix
Like,
is great. They got a good mall there.
beautiful place. And we were staying right on Lake Michigan, I believe, yeah. And so
What time of year was it?
It was late May.
Okay.
It was summer, or very damn near
Michigan,
summer.
late May is not. I mean, it's early summer, but like
Yeah, it was
really gotta-
it was warm and sunny out.
July.
And I was like, I'm gonna jump in that
July.
bitch. And I went down. I mean, if I had just jumped in, I probably would have been fine. But I made the mistake of dipping a toe in
Just
there,
dipping
and I
your
was
toes.
like,
Yeah, that's always the worst.
"Fuck that
You
shit."
can just jump in and swim in. It's beautiful. It's always a great experience.
I did jump into a lake in Alaska.
Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying is like the cool thing about
It was colder than shit too.
the Great Lakes are ancient and awe-inspiring, and they're full of life. But there's like no predatory life.
They're very
there
pretty.
at all.
I'll give you that.
I mean,
very
they're
pretty.
I honestly I think they're awe-inspiring because some views you can get of them and they're oceans. They're the biggest most states. They're fucking crazy, and especially Lake Superior and Lake Michigan. They're so fucking intensely massive that you can barely get your head around.
Yeah,
the size.
they're gigantic.
You know, when you look at the ocean, you're like, okay, that's half the planet.
Yeah.
Okay, you know that's endless.
Yeah.
But then you look at a lake like that, that's all freshwater.
You know,
it's,
that ends somewhere, but I can't
it's
see.
something magical
see that
and
far.
deep. And of course, a Lake Superior lake monster would make a whole fuckload of sense. One, because it's freshwater, and creatures drink that.
It's fucking, again, we live in a time where everybody has a fucking camera in their pocket. Like, I can't get behind it.
It's a big ass lake, bro.
Okay.
If there's one monster in a lake the size of Wisconsin,
Yeah.
I mean that means there's 99.9% of that water is a mile away from the shore.
At least.
So maybe
If
there's
not several.
one sneaky little fucker in there. You don't know. You don't know that shit.
Well, okay, fine. I don't know, but I feel...
Through God, all things are possible.
And our next sponsor, the King David Bible.
The Church of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, God. Yeah, we're getting LDS up in here, huh?
I mean, if I can, yeah, fuck, they got money.
We would be better off with Scientology.
I mean, they got money too. Fuck
they
yeah, bring it
got a
on,
lot.
baby. I got some thetans waiting for you.
So we've also got Wahila, which was weird because I was told Wahila was a Michigan thing, and then I started looking into Wahila, and it's like Canada and like Pacific Northwest thing. So I don't know. It's a big ass fucking wolf,
Oh yeah, but I mean, like this is,
and this is another Native American one.
and then we figured out through our research that this actually is more associated with Alaska.
Canada and Alaska.
And
yeah.
this is something that I wanted to bring up about Michigan that I think is really interesting. For one reason or another, Michigan has co-opted a lot of Alaska shit.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're balls deep in Canada. Like, we're fucking Canada's fucking... You get into the upper peninsula of Michigan, you are almost 1,000 miles deep in Canada.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. There are places in Michigan where you can go south to get to Canada.
Yeah, that's Detroit. You got to go across the Ambassador Bridge. That's
Yeah.
how I've always gone to Canada, is go south into Windsor, Ontario. Great strip clubs. Wonderful cocaine. So, lovely people.
So
Do you want to hear my strip club story from
Now we
Windsor,
know
Ontario?
now we know the things to do in Windsor.
My Windsor, Ontario strip club story is particular, okay? My older brother and I were driving, and a friend of mine, were driving into Windsor to head further into the state, or into the country, to cross into New York.
Does a Wahila attack you in this?
No. This is a great story, though, and I'm just going to...
Was there at least a stripper named Wahila?
I'll make this a quick one. My brother had always vaunted this story about a strip club named Puma's.
Which is a big cat, and Wahila's a big wolf.
Yeah, Right. So he was like, it's great. They're full nude. Like, I fucking smoked weed with a stripper. That place is great.
Named
Let's have a lot
Wahila.
of fun. And he's like, we're going to go there before we do anything else. But we pulled into Canada in Windsor at like 10 a.m. So.
Okay. Well, Jesus.
Yeah, but like, we're doing our best. We had a long night. We had a lot of stuff going on.
Kind of early for the strip club, don't you think?
Well, we didn't even realize what time it was, honestly. We were just moving our lives.
All right.
So we can't find Pumbaa's, though. We're working real hard on finding this place.
What year was this?
2006.
Okay.
So we're trying real hard.
A pre-smartphone. I'll give it to you.
Pre-smartphone. I was only 19, so.
Okay.
So we're anyway. We're driving all around Windsor trying to find this fucking place. We can't. We pull up to a gas station, and we go in and we ask the guy behind the station or the counter there. We're like, "Hey man, do you know how to get to Pumbaa's?" And the guy is a short little, a nane, you might say. He's a short little guy with a mustache. He looks at us and he goes, Pumbaa's strip club? And we're like, yeah. He goes, son, you don't want to go there. You want to go to Cheetah's. It's a mile further down the road. Way better. And it's also Steak Wednesday. Tell him that Johnny sent you. And he gets down off his chair, comes over. He literally pulls a map off the wall and draws us a path to this place.
Jesus Christ.
And he's like, hey, when you get there, you let them know that I get a free steak for recommended people. We got there and it was so close. It was 10:30 in the morning. But that's how nice Canada is.
That is true.
Yeah.
You're not wrong about that.
But anyway, so Michigan loves to co-opt Alaska shit. For instance, the Michigan State University football team, right? Mm-hmm. You know what they are? They are the Wolverines,
yeah.
Right? There ain't no fucking Wolverines in Michigan. There are barely any Wolverines in Canada.
Well, there are some in Canada.
Yes, but they're northern.
Yeah.
There's way deep. That's like...
I feel like if there is a state in the U.S. that can use the Wolverines, it would be Alaska or Michigan.
I guess Michigan's not even the most northern state. Maine is.
Yeah, Maine does have some...
Maine's got
You got to go across water, but you get...
Maine's got 500 miles on Michigan.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, Michigan loves to co-opt Alaska.
We already talked shit about Maine, so I mean, we can.
Also, get up to the Upper Peninsula. We love to say we have moose. Ain't no fucking moose. Escanaba in the moonlight. Bunch of bullshit.
Fucking youpers.
Okay, I guess that's the end of my little rant there.
Yeah, with me saying.
But
fucking
anyway,
youpers.
that's not a fucking youpers. I guess. Hey, oh shit! I'm missing a lot of opportunities to do a Michigan accent.
You are really. I mean, I did the Kunas accent for fucking 45 minutes.
Well, I mean, like, we've been talking this long, and you think I sound like this? It's not true. I actually sound like this.
Oh my god!
You thought it was different the whole time. No, it's really how I sound.
Flanders.
My whole life. Gonna go out there to the garage, gonna smoke 4 cigarettes, gonna drink a little Bat Blue, and here we go, boy.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, you don't like
That's
that,
such a grating accent.
Oh, just gonna scotch on by you, but
There's like...
scotch on right behind you.
It's such a weird
Hey, where are you
accent.
boys from?
I don't know why that accent bothers me.
You got a lot of high
especially
A's.
women. When women talk like that, I'm like,
Oh, it's awful
weirded out.
misogynistic there, bub.
Weirded out. It's not. I don't think anything.
Oh, I'm
less
just
of
gonna
them.
scooch on by you there.
Yeah, it's strange. To
We
me.
got a lot of high A's. Got cats, hats, bats, rats. Let me go to the bar.
Ugh. You want to talk about the legend of the Ada Witch?
I actually don't know the Ada Witch.
The Ada Witch of Findlay Cemetery, baby.
The Ada Witch. This is another human cryptid.
This is West Michigan. And
No, I'm from Eastern Michigan.
Yeah. Well, so there's a whole other part of the
Fuck
state.
them.
So apparently, sometime in the 19th century, a woman had been unfaithful to her husband and would disappear in the night to meet with her secret lover.
Oh, sorry, Bob.
Secret lover.
Excuse me there, Bob. I'm going to squeeze on by you and go meet my secret lover.
I'm gonna go get.
Just
I'm
going to go meet my
railed.
secret lover real quick.
I'm gonna go get railed in the
It's going to be,
cemetery.
I'm going to go get us a... I'm going to go get us a ham hock.
So gross. Her husband started to suspect that his wife was up to something, and one night he pretended that to fall asleep. His wife got up and left the house, and he followed her and found her with another man. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So he,
Oh yeah.
so he attacked the couple, killed his wife first, right?
Oh no, Bob, no, don't kill me.
Then
I want to point out, I have fucking cousins that sound exactly like what I'm
Gross.
saying right now.
so then the
I'm sorry, Nicole.
So then, I'm sorry too, Nicole. So then
She's great.
the two men fought, and eventually they both died from the wounds that they inflicted on each other, right? So
Just a threesome of horror.
she died. I don't know what.
You said they both died of their wounds.
He killed her first, so she's dead. Then the dudes start fighting. I don't know what weapon was used, but I mean,
I made a gesture just now that was stabby.
Stabby. You did a stabby.
Did a stabby thing with an angry face.
Oof.
Oh yeah, bud, I'm gonna stab you so good.
So people have claimed that they've heard the sounds of the fight taking place in the area, only to find no one around.
I'm gonna stab you, bud. I wanna stab you, bud. I stab you good. Hey, why don't you get off my lawn there, pal?
The land at one point had been.
Me and my brother. Me and my brother are gonna stab you so good.
The land at one point had been open for hunting, right? Now it's all residential, basically. But there were reports from hunters saying that they felt a presence around them and heard like a quote ghostly fight. I don't know what a ghostly fight sounds like.
Oh, boo there, bud. Boo. Boo, I'm gonna ghost fight the shit out of you, bud. Me and my brother Marv.
Oh my god. I'm gonna phase right through this
Don't
gravestone.
know. I got ectoplasm in your face.
In your face.
In your face. So I got dropped into vacation.
You got very urban there for a second.
I'm gonna slime you, bud. I got ectoplasm here. I'm gonna throw it right.
So and then they claim that they would be tapped on the shoulder from behind, only to turn around to no one.
Tap you like a maple tree, bud.
And then there are sightings of the lady in white, aka the Ada Witch. A resident there, Ada is the town, I guess. So a resident, Julie Wiley, told news channel WZZM 13 about her sighting. Quote, I was driving home from work, heading...
Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm. You want me to do the voice?
You can probably do it. Oh, I was driving home from work.
Driving home from work, headed down Bailey Drive. I was coming
northern Michigan.
I was coming up the crest of the hill, and all of a sudden I see a woman sitting in the middle of the street. She had long flowing blue dress on.
Now she's Irish.
I feel like it's gonna turn.
She had a long white dress on.
She was sitting there waving her arms. And the words coming out of her mouth to me looked like she was asking, "Help me, help me." So this lady says she's 100% believer. I know what I saw. I didn't drive that way for the longest time because I was afraid I was going to see her again.
Well, I didn't drive down there no more.
What? I mean, what are you afraid of? You're in a car.
I mean...
A lady in blue saying, help me, help me? No. Maybe you should have stopped, lady.
You know what's fair? I bet you that lady was actually saying, oh, gee. Oh, gee.
No.
Oh, gee.
Oh, no.
Oh, gee. You thought it was help me. She's saying, oh, gee. Oh, gee.
Do you got an extra Labatt's?
Hold on. This sounds very much like I'm mocking all of Michigan, which I am. But, like, there are multiple phases to this.
Everywhere sucks. That's our disclaimer. Oh, yeah, everywhere sucks.
Everywhere's a bag of shit.
Yeah. Some places suck a little less, but they all suck eventually.
We all try and find our joy in various circumstances. But you get to mock a place if you're from there.
Yeah.
Or from there.
I get to mock a place if I'm not
I get to mock my place if I'm from there.
Listen, I'm from Louisiana. Louisiana sucks. I live in Florida. Florida sucks. I've been so many places, and I'm like, even if the place is beautiful, I'm like, I always know in the back of my head, if I lived here for long enough, I'd be like, oh my god,
all the best places. All the best places are the worst.
Yeah.
But I want to say, when I'm talking about Michigan, your Detroit accent is what you're hearing here. You see, I'm saying accent.
Accent.
Detroit accent. You know, like, and I'm not trying to push it there. Detroit accent, that's the way I sound. But if you get into central Michigan, it gets a little more nasally, and that's more how you get. It's like, hey, we're going to go down to the store, we're going to drive the car around, hey, here we go. Yeah, just sound a little
I feel like the only thing I can say, like, correctly in that accent is, like, don't you know?
No, you see, that's where you're getting it wrong, because the central Michiganders would never do that.
That's a Wisconsin or something?
That's more of a Wisconsin, because, like, the Upper Peninsula and Wisconsin are kind of attached there. But, like, if you go up way up north there, way up north under the Upper Peninsula, but down to up to the tip of that mitten there, then that's where you get your norms and your bobs.
It's
You get your norms and your
Canada.
bobs. It's not Canada. It's more
It's Canada-esque.
Very American and
Canada-ish.
very, very proud, very, very proud people.
Canada-ish.
It's not quite Canada because we're very proud people there, and we don't like being so much associated with that there.
Well, don't be so fucking close.
It's a little more of a dare and a little more of a A.
You think Guatemalans like being referred
I'm
to
just saying,
as Mexicans
in
all
fucking
the
northern
time?
Michigan,
No,
you get a what's going on dare, and then in that area of Canada, you get a OA. You know, different sort of deal. OA. That's Canada. OA dare. That's your northern Michigan. But then you get up into the upper peninsula, you get the Yoopers. And the Yoopers there, they drop it down because they got a big Wisconsin association, and that's a lot of Swedish nonsense back there in the past area.
Oh my God.
Then they say the A's. They say the A's and they say the dares. They say the days, the airs, and they also,
say
oh
the
boy.
days.
There's a lot of Wisconsin in that there upper peninsula.
You know what? We didn't even talk about Sackabilly. But that's okay.
Wait, hold on. That's the Louisiana?
That was Louisiana. But it wasn't. We couldn't find anything really.
Hey, big spoiler on Sackabilly. That's a guy named Billy. He's got a sack.
It's just a guy putting kids in a sack.
I mean, like classic.
It's just a
It's a reverse Santa Claus.
putting kids in a sack after dark.
It's one of those legends that's like, hey, fucking come inside because the Sackabilly's coming around or
He's
whatever.
coming for you.
Sackabilly's coming. You were a dick today. He's gonna put you in his sack, and then I guess burn you alive or something. I don't know, eat you.
I don't know.
Whatever Sackabilly does. Nobody knows.
How about you know what? Okay, I'll get to that. How about the green squirrel of Amble?
Let me guess. That's a green squirrel.
It is a green squirrel. By the way, it's a giant green squirrel.
Ooh, what do we mean by giant there?
Well, actually, according to this website, and I don't know how these are the descriptors, but so it's a super squirrel.
Oh!
That is said to be the size of a small cow or a 72 Buick. Not 71.
72 Buick's a hell of a car, bud.
Not 71, not 73. By the way, 72 Buick, did they only have one?
What?
Did they only have one model in 1972?
No, I mean, you're looking at 11.3 feet. There's a big fucking car. It's the 72 Buick. All the
Yeah.
Buicks in the 70s are
Yeah.
about 11 feet.
Is a small cow 11 feet? Because I don't
Fuck
fucking
no,
think
that's
so.
a giant cow. Those are completely wildly discrepant fucking descriptors of size.
A 72 Buick or a small cow.
I mean, a Buick
Pick one.
is known for being a hefty ride.
Right.
And we're talking about 72. I mean, it's one of those sleek boys that like looks like a long bullet. You know, like fucking it doesn't have the fins anymore, but it's still got that fucking like ramp up, like low rear end that goes up to the top and then a big fucking gnarly grill. That's a big car. That's a boat. That's a classic American steel boat.
Hang on though. Because
I'm sorry,
are we talking
you got
about
me. You got me.
Are we talking about a Buick Riviera?
Got me talking.
We're talking about a
classic
72
American
Riviera?
cars.
Are we talking about a 72 Skylark? What Buick are we talking about?
Every one of those cars is gonna have the same fucking dimensions.
Were they all on the same chassis? The LeSabre was the same length as a Skylark?
Essentially, Skylark's gonna be the tiniest one of those. But like, amongst all those, you're gonna have your same sort of chassis with a weird outer body, and
a
it's all gonna be
72
around.
Buick Regal?
It's gonna. Ooh, that'll be a big bitch.
That's not. It's. I mean, I guess I don't fucking know. I don't know the dimensions of it.
Well, I do. Back of my hand.
Okay. So.
My grandfather invented Buicks.
So apparently, door handles.
No, that's Cadillac.
So
My grandfather worked for Cadillac, and he did the door handles on the Cadillac.
apparently, the village of Amble, which by the way, AMBLE, the village of Amble. If you Google this place,
It is Nowheresville.
It's just
An absolute desolate wasteland of nothing.
There's nothing there.
Amble's one of those towns where fucking if you're going up the freeway north or south, you got 100 miles between being able to go right or left on another freeway.
This website says, pay a visit to Amble someday or night and check it out. There are some cool old buildings around, as well as the local bar, so there's one, cemetery, a church, a truck and trailer repair service, and an old one-room schoolhouse.
How much you want to bet those are all within 30 seconds of each other?
Exactly. And then there's like photos of like homes, like abandoned homes and stuff, and it's just like everything's overgrown and everything's just, it's crazy. Amble's Main Street. There's a building and a house on opposite corners, and that's Main Street.
Hell yeah.
So apparently, the locals, who there must be a whole 12 of them,
Looks like a town of about 300.
300 people?
That's what it looks like.
That seems like a lot. That's not a lot for a town, but it seems like a lot for the photos I've seen.
Well, somebody's got to run the auto body place.
The truck and trailer repair.
Yeah.
So apparently this squirrel is only seen
they've got 7 streets, man.
Woo, baby.
You can fit 300 people in
Moving
there.
on up.
I see one home, one business. Silos. A lot of silos. Oh, there's a lot of farm shit. Yeah,
a lot of abandoned
I'll
silos.
bet you it's a lot of county stuff.
Yeah. So
Rusty's Amble Inn Grill, $1 sign.
is that the bar? That's
Betcha.
the local bar.
And restaurant.
So this giant squirrel.
What a bunch of hicks. Fuck them. I love rural places.
This giant squirrel
around.
apparently chirps, grunts, and squeaks, and that can be heard through the hills and valleys as the sound echoes through the community.
I am looking at an overhead satellite view of Amble right now. The actual township with the one business, the restaurant, and what have you, is completely surrounded by open green fields.
Yeah, it's
not particularly conducive to squirrels.
It's been well, there's probably a lot of squirrels, but they're probably normal sized and brown.
Maybe over by Crane Lake, I guess.
Crane Lake.
Like,
so this thing is only seen at night when the locals are most likely to be completely tanked.
I'll bet you they find it over there by the Tamarack Welding Fab and Craft.
This was a quote. Quote, it's only seen at night when the locals are most likely to be completely tanked.
It only comes out at night. Mostly.
Usually on nights when there's just a slit of moon and the sky is at its darkest. Nobody can agree on the color.
It's dark as shit and everyone's wasted.
Nobody can agree on the color of the squirrel's eyes, as various witnesses say the eyes are either blue, brown, red, or yellow. And on top of that, its fur is green. It's a Buick-sized squirrel
Everybody
with green
agrees
fur.
It's the size of a fucking Buick.
Pick a color for its
green as
eyes.
shit.
Maybe it's the size of a cow.
I'm
I don't
telling
know.
you, this motherfucker's green.
But
and
its
he's
chirps,
huge.
its chirps can be heard through the hills and valleys, and its colors are,
Its chirps can be heard through the hills and valleys. I'm literally looking at 8 different silos and granaries in this area. Perhaps the equipment is chirping lightly. Just saying. Perhaps instead of
septic tank alarm is
instead of
going
a
off.
giant green squirrel, a bunch of drunks are thinking of maybe any one of these, or perhaps what was it, the auto shop,
the truck and trailer repair.
Truck and trailer repair.
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing something that might squeak.
Yeah, they're actually working while you guys are all getting shit faced.
I say we're gonna put this on the map a little bit. I mean, put this on our schedule.
Go to Amble, Michigan.
I think we should do it.
We should go to Amble.
We
Michigan.
should go to Amble.
Oh, I thought we were just pitching. Go to Amble, Michigan.
Oh yeah, anybody out there who hears this before we actually get to go, fucking go.
Yeah,
but
go spend some money.
Go get your truck repaired. Literally want to make this a delete everything first project, first initial search.
A Patreon video of us walking around fucking Amble.
What the fuck
to try and find the squirrel.
We're gonna go to Rusty's. Feed and seed.
Okay. Well, we have to get enough subscribers on Patreon to pay for our tickets to go there.
So if you're hearing this and if you think it'd be fun if we go to Amble, Michigan, and look for
with video cameras,
giant green squirrel of Amble, actually give it an honest effort,
and get shit faced at the local bar.
That's the whole point. You have to do that if you're gonna see it.
I'm gonna bring a trailer so I can get it fixed while I'm there.
You gotta get that fixed. Right? I'm gonna go to Salt and Arrow Table Company and get some fine finished furniture.
I'm
gonna go to the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses.
I'm in for the furniture place. If it's
I'm gonna go to Amble Cemetery just to pay my respects.
That's
I'm gonna go to the Tamarack Welding Fab and Craft. I'm gonna go to Pine Hills Dairy, even though it's slightly outside of the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to Newman's Farm, temporarily closed, hopefully open by the time I get there. And I'm gonna go to Golden Pups Kennel just to see if those pups are really kenneled. Golden. And I'm going to go to John Sherman Construction because he seems like an honest man. And I'm going to ask all these fucking people.
Well, he's got to be honest. He's the only construction guy in a town of 300.
And then there's the Wyatt Farms.
Word gets around quick.
There's
if you fuck somebody over.
Wyatt Farms. That's a family homestead from the depths of, I'm going to guarantee, is Lutheran-ass Michigan. So, There's a whole thing. The Lutherans took over a lot of Michigan.
Okay,
There's a
all
lot.
right.
There's a big fucking.
I don't know about it.
There's a lot of Michigan.
Neither
shit.
do any of our
I know
listeners,
a lot
other
of
than
stuff.
the ones from
I know
Michigan.
There's a lot of Michigan stuff.
The Michigan listeners are fucking cackling right now. I don't know what the fuck.
Oh,
you're
they're
talking about.
fucking losing their
You're like,
shit.
Lutherans, fuck them.
Tamarack welding. But I would say, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day we make our way up there. I think we good if we can get some Patreon subscribers.
I'm saying today or tomorrow. I'm good those
Fuck,
days.
I've got so much going on.
I don't know what's happening one
I
day.
gotta work in the morning. There's no way.
Same. So, all right. Well, let's move on to the Michigan Merman.
Oh, Jesus Christ. More humanoids.
Listen, man, I'm just doing the ones that are interesting. You want to talk about... There are Bigfoot podcasts. There are a bunch of Bigfoot podcasts. I was actually kind of impressed by the number of Bigfoot podcasts. I'm like, how...
Those guys are all nerds.
How long can you talk about Bigfoot?
They're all just nerds.
It seems like you really pigeonholed yourself there. It's just a Bigfoot podcast?
I wanted to make a joke, but I can't put a pigeon.
You put out a...
Pigeonholed. You squatched yourself.
Squatch hold.
You really squatched yourself there, bud.
You squatch caved
You
yourself.
see, I can't get out of my fucking Michigan accent now.
Squatch caved yourself.
Can't do it. Yeah, you really fucking squatched yourself, the pal.
No, that got you yourself got kind of New Yorky there.
I'm such a mutt.
It's I'm
Oh yeah, you really squatched yourself there, bud.
there. It is.
There you go. Me and my brother Marv, we saw a squatch one time. And then we out there in Amble, we saw a big green squirrel. It was while we were really high up, there, and we'd had 8 or 9 beards.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know when the first time the Michigan Merman was sighted?
Yes.
May 13th. By the way, Brian, who is a guest on the show frequently,
he's in our stable of whores.
That's his birthday, May 13th.
May 13th.
1782. Venant Saint-Germain, a Canadian fur trader, spotted what he believed to be an actual merman swimming in the cold, deep waters of Lake Superior. Could have just seen Pressy, and
You see, it might be the same guy.
While making a stop at Pie Island in the northern part of the lake, Saint-Germain spotted the creature and described it as looking, quote, childlike with brownish skin and having extremely brilliant eyes.
He saw a small brown child swimming in a lake.
Childlike with brownish skin. He saw me as a child, yeah.
And he was just like, this is amazing.
I don't know that I have extremely brilliant eyes. I have sort of menacing eyes.
Does he describe it as beautiful or succulent?
Yeah, well, what's funny is that the drawing is of fucking Poseidon. It's an old man with a beard and
It
long
doesn't
hair.
look like a small brown child.
No, not at all. Saint Germain's first instinct when he saw the merman was to get out his gun and shoot at it.
That probably had more.
Fucking brown child, shoot it!
Probably had more to do with the brown part than anything.
Right.
Way to go, Saint Germain.
Oh my god.
Fucking elderflower asshole.
They had been traveling with a Native American woman of the Ojibwe tribe, and she prevented the shooting. The woman told them it was bad
Like, what the
luck.
fuck are you doing? Don't shoot brown children.
Shoot a kid.
Fuck.
The woman told them it was bad luck to threaten the water creature / gods, and sure enough, a nasty storm rolled through the area that lasted for 3 days.
Saint Germain was subsequently eaten by small brown children.
Saint Germain's life would end by means of an accidental bullet. You live by the sword, die by the sword, my dude.
Is there more of a descriptor to that?
Yeah.
Is there more than just like an accidental bullet, or like is that where we're ending it?
Well, so apparently a friend of his aimed an old shotgun at him and didn't think it was a working gun. He pulled the trigger and fucking killed him.
So an associate of his murdered him.
Yeah, his friend, quote, accidentally shot him with a shotgun.
Oh no! Oh, I accidentally murdered my friend with a shotgun after he tried to kill some small brown child.
I think that was like years later, but yeah, that's the Michigan Merman. There's nothing. I don't believe there's anything contemporary. This is we're talking about 1782.
This creature was also part of the Ojibwe people stories, which they called May-Magwashi.
Oh.
This creature, similar to Saint Germain, to what Saint Germain had seen, was also described as looking childlike and sometimes hairy. The May-Magwashi is also known as another unpronounceable word, Nibanabakwik.
Oh my god.
Nabanabawick. That's it.
Okay.
It's not hard. I grew up in Michigan, so I can do that. I can read them shits.
Better you than me. What's weird is that, the descriptor is the size of a child 7 or 8 years old.
Nabanabawick.
And
Fucking
then
easy.
and then the drawing is an elderly man with a fishtail.
I mean, back in the day, children could grow beards like that. Hey, we got any more Michigan cryptids?
We do. We have, I think, one last one.
The best one. The best one. My favorite.
The melon heads.
Fuck yes.
Of what friggin' county? Allegan County? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the melon heads of
Melon heads of Allegan County. This one is, again, humanoid cryptids, my dude. I'm sorry. But
these are the best ones, though, because they actually work as cryptids as well.
It seems like also
some of these are ghosts, some of these are people,
right?
But these are
so like with the Grunch story. That seems like okay. There were outcasts in these woods that were just murdering people.
And then, of course, my favorite, the Whack Master,
Ted Nugent.
Absolute madman, Motor City madman.
Yeah. So
Whack Master is known as Michigan's most douchey fuckbag cryptid.
Oh, he's an absolute fuckbag. Tap dancing dog.
That's another one. The great Michigan tap dancing dog.
Tap dancing dog. So again, these guys are West Michigan. So sorry, bud. But yeah, the melon heads.
Melon heads.
Melon heads.
You can't do it. You can't help it. Oh, you
I didn't
melon.
actually mean
That's
to.
so Michigan. Oh, you melon head.
That was just me not mouthing right. So apparently they're little people with big old heads, and they creep around the woods of Allegan County. So I had read, I don't know if it's this article here, but I had read that. Okay, so let's get into this a little bit, right? Because right out the gates, the legend is that they live in an underground series of tunnels, and they jump out to attack people or to eat them.
Well, hold on. I think where you should really start is the origin story, because this actually does tie into some very strong Michigan lore, in my opinion. They were children with hydrocephalus, or giant ass heads.
Right. It's a fluid retention in the head that makes your head giant.
Who lived at a Junction insane asylum.
Yes.
That were abandoned in the fucking woods.
They closed down the asylum. They turned all the kids out.
Right? And
allegedly, they put all the kids out.
If I have any experience in Michigan, when I was growing up in the 90s, one of the mayors of some of the major cities closed down all of the mental institutions one day without any warning and pushed all of the insane people into the streets and destroyed the economy and livelihoods of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people at once. Christ. Yeah, Michigan's got some stuff.
There's also another version of the story.
That was Pontiac, Michigan, everyone. Everyone remember?
There's another story that there was a doctor that, I don't know if he ran the asylum or just worked there or whatever, but he was conducting experiments on these hydrocephalic kids, right? And at some point they revolted. They killed him. They ate him.
Knew it.
And they went into the woods.
You got a big head, you're eating him.
Where they went into the woods, and then apparently they're all still there today. However, here's the thing. There was never an asylum near that area.
Okay, all right. All of this is...
There was a prison, not an asylum.
Ooh, maybe it's just big head ass murderers. God damn it. Big ass head murderers.
But I mean, so here's the other explanation. There's a place called the Felt Mansion.
Felt Mansion, yeah.
That was used as a Catholic school, and the town folk referred them to Jesus Christ. The town folk referred to them as melonheads because they were considered smarter, and they were using that as a
They were smarter because they had big heads, or
they were just went to the private
kids.
school. Yeah, they went to the private school. They were the big-headed rich fucking kids.
But after enduring physical and emotional abuse, they became feral and released into the forest surrounding the asylum.
Maybe.
The Allegan County Historical Society asserts that's the asylum.
But there wasn't one there.
I guess they had been referred to as wobbleheads.
Wobbleheads?
Some of the legends say the children once lived in the Felt Mansion itself, but later went to a system of caves or lived in an abandoned zoo. There's a lot of stuff there. But this is obviously well based in Michigan because all right, I am somebody who is well documented as having a big ass head. And
you are rather bulbous in the cranial region.
I mean, not anymore, really, as like an adult person. When I was a kid,
were you a bobblehead?
I had more of a wobblehead. But when I was a kid, my dad would fucking call me a melon head all the time. I thought that was just funny. Because it was just like, oh, I get it. I got a big head, and he's an abusive dick. But like also
verbally.
uncles and people like that who you're ingratiated with the kid. You could give him a small insult for fun.
Right.
They'd all call me melon head because I got it. I had a big fucking head. Okay, cool. But now I'm thinking like, oh shit, that is a Michigan cultural thing. The melon head idea.
Maybe they were saying that you were a little cannibal that lived in the woods.
Have you ever, when you were a kid, did you ever hear of somebody with a big head being called a melon head?
I did.
Okay.
Well, they were candies. Melon head candies.
No, lemon
heads. I don't know.
You ever run across a melon head?
Probably. I mean, when I saw this,
there's
it wasn't
the Ghostbusters
like,
reference. Bill Murray does that reference. It's like that huge melon on top of your head.
Yeah, I probably yes, but I don't. I mean, I can't point to a specific time.
I don't know. This is making me sad. I don't want to talk anymore.
Aw, you're not hydrocephalic, so it's you just had to grow into that dome of yours.
I think I did okay.
I mean,
I'm hot. Would you like me?
Well, so apparently, recently, some local teenagers claim that they encountered the Melonheads near the Felt Mansion. Near the Felt Mansion. The teenager was calling them wobbleheads. Was that? Did you just refer to yourself as a wobblehead?
No. I said earlier it was. As a teenager, one of the people from the Laketown Township manager Al Meshkin.
You just call it Lake Township. Laketown Township.
Laketown Township.
So
manager Al Meshkin told the Holland Sentinel he had heard the tale as a teenager, noting that his friends referred to the beings as wobbleheads.
Wobbleheads.
Yeah.
It's kind of. I feel like it's kind of anticlimactic. I wish that they did more stuff. I mean, I wish we had more.
What do you want? You want to
activity.
find the corpse of a fucking melon head somewhere? And
I want.
He had a squishy head and he was eating a baby.
I want a bunch of stories. Yeah, I want a bunch of stories of melon heads. Just like
in the movie, if we made the movie,
like a squad of melon heads running out of the woods.
The melon head leader would be pulled out in chains, just. Let us live in
look what you did to the dog. Look what you did to the dog.
My children.
Well, that's enough for us. We are gonna sign off here, and
what do you think? Was this a good episode?
It was. Are you asking me or the viewership, listenership?
I'm asking you.
I thought it was great.
Great.